There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
What's in a name? Junjun, Boyet, Nene, Inday, Dodong. Ilan lamang ito sa mga sikat na palayaw ng mga batang Pilipino. Pero habang lumalaki, lalo na pag dumating na sa teenage years, karaniwan na sa mga kabataan ang magpalit ng palayaw para mas cool, mas hip, ika nga. Kaya ang Rosario ay nagiging Rose pag naging teenager. Pero pag adult na, pwede niya palitan at maging Sari para mas sophisticated and professional ang tunog. This is also the story of our beloved university. University of Makati, established in 1972. What we now call University of Makati was established in 1972 through Municipal Resolution No. 242, Ordinance No. 64, Series of 1972, under the administration of then-Mayor Nemesio I. Yabut. Going then by the name Makati Polytechnic Community College or MPCC, it offered mainly vocational courses housed in 2 institutes. Institute of Business Technology and Institute of Industrial Technology. Section 2 of Municipal Resolution No. 1972-362, Ordinance No. 108. Dated May 13, 1972, amended Municipal Resolution No. 1972-242, Ordinance No. 64, and allowed the community college to provide free education to the underprivileged and low-income residents of the city. 1987, 15 years after its creation, then-Mayor Jejomar C. Binay issued Executive Order 0387, renaming Makati Polytechnic Community College to Makati College as it has expanded its course offerings to undergraduate and graduate programs. The EO was subsequently ratified by the Municipal Council when it passed MMC Ordinance No. 07, Series of 1987, on November 16, 1987. Municipal Resolution Number 119. On July 11, 1989, the municipality of Makati assumed the rights and ownership of Fort Andres Bonifacio College, owned and operated by the Philippine Army, which was to take effect in academic year 1990-1991. Municipal Ordinance Number 433, Series of 1991. Makati College was renamed Pamantasan ng Makati, PNM, and operated as a chartered university beginning December 19, 1991, 19 years after its birth. Then, in 2002, at the ripe age of 30, Pamantasan ng Makati was renamed to University of Makati. This change in name was undertaken to attract more quality students and to give emphasis to the university's spirit and thrust towards modernization, innovation, and educational excellence. Further, it sought to infuse renewed enthusiasm in facing the challenges beyond the 20th century, as UMak moved to become more globally competitive. In marketing parlance, this is called rebranding. So, what's in a name? A lot. It is an embodiment of what and who you are.
Hello, Herons! Kumusta? I hope everyone is doing well and is safe and healthy with your families. Welcome to our virtual internship orientation for this semester with the theme of Future Ready Students for the Job Market in the New Normal. I am Ms. Aika Ramos from the CCC, and I will be your host and moderator for today's orientation. So before we begin, let us first acknowledge all of our participants today. I can already see a lot of you signing into our current live stream. So if you hear your college, can you please give a react emoji or a heart or a like? So let us first see if our student interns from the College of Arts and Letters are here. Good afternoon, guys. Hello. How about the College of Business and Financial Services? Are you already here? Next is College of Construction Sciences and Engineering. Good afternoon. How about College of Governance and Public Policy? Hi, guys. Of course, we also have our College of Human Kinetics, College of Science. How about College of Technology Management? And last but not the least, College of Tourism and Hospitality Management. So welcome, guys. Good afternoon. So for today's session, please feel free to comment your questions, clarifications for the different topics that will be discussed by our resource speakers. I know a lot of you are very excited and at the same time nervous with your internship journey here in University of Makati. So to officially start our program, please join us for a moment of silence for our invocation from Jobs 180 to be followed by the national anthem and UMak hymn by the UMak Chorale.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Bayang magiliw, rela sa silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka lang magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bakaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang islap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw na kailang pag may pagdidilim, lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo, ang aming ligaya ng pang may mga api, ang mga tay ng dahil sa'yo.
We cheer to the alma mater, University of Makati. Rejoice, we're here onward marching, be it shine, storm, cloud, or rain. Let all our voices be ringing for the glory of our alma mater, pride of Makati and of our fatherland. Beloved UMak, proudly stand. Arise, thy sons and daughters, fill the air with the joy of alma mater. Let sound our gladness and tidings, every echo by far and near. Here to thee, our dear beloved UMak, faithfully we raise our light to spirit.
Once again, welcome to our virtual internship orientation for this semester. I can already see a lot of you watching us in our live stream. Again, if you have any questions later on for our speakers, please feel free to use the comment section. And also, please remember that at the end of the orientation, we will be giving out the link for your evaluation form, which will also serve as your attendance for this orientation. So, to start today's orientation, we are very much honored to have with us a sought after lecturer on economics, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. He finished his BSBA in economics and MBA at the Colegio de San Juan de Latran, Manila, and his PhD in management at the International Academy of Management and Economics with distinction. Our incumbent Vice President for Academic Affairs and UMak Officer in Charge University President, Dr. Elixir Ramos. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Ika, and magandang hapon po sa lahat ng ating mga estudyante na following the live stream right now. First off, I'd like to thank the Corporate Communication Center of the University of Makati for making this possible, and of course, our OJT and Placement Center as well. No? And syempre, hindi naman mangyayari to kung wala yung ating partners na Jobs 180. In fact, I'll just make this very short because I know we have a lot of speakers on hand that would like to share their best practices and tips to our students as they prepare for the corporate world. In my During the opening of our civil service month, when I gave direction for the University of Makati, when I was installed as the OIC president of the university, I did mention that one of the plans that we would like to do, especially in my term as the OIC president, is to strengthen and actually institutionalize industry-academe partnership. Kasi studies have shown that yung mga pinag-aaralan talaga ng mga estudyante natin ngayon, when they actually go to the workplace, most of what they have learned in school is no longer applicable dahil ang bilis ng pagbabago ng mga skills, knowledge na kailangan to be able to adapt to the new working environment. In fact, a lot of studies have showed yung Industry 4.0, halos karamihan daw ng mga courses ngayon by the time that our students graduate from college is no longer relevant doon sa mga trabaho na kailangan ng industriya. So, part of my goal really and part of my dream is to institutionalize yung partnership between the academe and also the industry. How I wish that in the future, if we have, let's say, for example, graduates of our finance, no, that the Banking Association of the Philippines would be the one to actually tell us whether or not our students actually meet the criteria to work in the financial industry or financial sector like the banking industry. How I wish in the future our graduates of technology management, we have, let's say, a big conglomerate or a big group, just like Ayala Properties would actually be the one to tell us whether our graduates of industrial facilities technology do meet the criteria. At sila na mismo yung mag-evaluate saka mag-qualify sa ating mga graduates. And for us to be able to create that roadmap, the work that we're going to do today, no, the workshop that we're going to do today is a very big step because our partners and our speakers will share with us today ano ba yung hinahanap ng industriya at ano ba ang kailangan i-prepare ng ating mga graduates. When we have that blueprint, we can now craft a development plan wherein we can institutionalize partnership not only with individual companies but with sectors as well that will actually help our graduates become better professionals later on. So muli po sa ating OJT and Placement Center headed by Ms. Cynthia Jose and our partners from Jobs 180, thank you very much for making this possible, especially at this time of pandemic. Karamihan talaga ng mga tao, there's a lot of uncertainty, mas lalo na sa mga estudyante nag-graduate. nasa isip nila, may trabaho pa ba kami na mapupuntahan? Parati namin nababalitaan sa news na nagsasara nga yung mga kumpanya at saka nagtatanggal ng mga trabahador. So what is the future? Is there actually a future in store for me? And this is a very good step to actually prepare us really for what is in store for the job market in the future. So muli po, maraming salamat at magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Thank you very much for participating and for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Ramos. Once again, student interns, I hope you found inspiration and comfort with the vision that our university president is aiming for our institution, for us to have better professionals who are not just industry ready, but are also qualified with the specializations that are waiting for you in your future professions. So let us now start our discussion and sharing of different information, guidelines, and also tips and tricks on how you can make your internship journey more meaningful. So to share with us UMak's guidelines and updates with our internship program, our first speaker is an advertising and marketing communications practitioner turned short-lived entrepreneur and now a late bloomer academician at the University of Makati, where she is currently the director of the Center for Linkages, Career Development, and Placement, under the Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs. She holds a degree of Bachelor of Arts in Communication, major in Communication Research from the University of the Philippines College of Mass Communications, and a degree of Master's in Business Administration Regis Program from the Ateneo de Manila Graduate School of Business. Student interns, let's all welcome Miss Cynthia Margaretta Jose. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Miss Ika.
Welcome.
Okay, so so thank you very much, Miss Ika, for that introduction, and welcome students. I'm very glad that you're able to attend our virtual internship orientation for this semester. This is actually not our first. We tried it for the first time during the second semester, and I think we were pretty much successful. And so mukhang ito na talaga yung new normal. So we will continue to do this every semester para talagang mabigyan po namin kayo sa aming makakaya ng orientation kahit papaano, even if we're not face to face and seeing each other. So anyhow, I just want to make mention, we're very glad that Dr. Ramos was able to give us the opening remarks. He is currently also our OIC University President. So may presidente na po tayo. So it's a good thing Sir X mentioned it, but he is actually really one of the foremost proponents of industry partnerships. Kasi prior to being our OIC president, he was dean of the College of Business and Financial Science. And this college actually forged a lot of partnerships through the years. So talagang advocate po siya. And then eventually he became our university secretary. And of course, the university secretary is in charge of linkages. So talagang that really is his calling. And then, of course, eventually he became our VPAA, and now he is our OIC president. So thank you. And so, as what Sir X mentioned, this is possible. One of the reasons why we have possible this mukhang very techie virtual orientation is because of one of our longtime partners, yung Jobs 180. So yun po. Okay, now I shall begin before I go to the actual guidelines, let me just give a brief background on CLCDP. Kasi siguro nagtataka kayo, ano ba yung CLCDP? Okay, all right. So this is an office under the Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs. So this is a merger of the former OJT and Placement Center. Yung nabanggit po kanina earlier ni Sir X. Kasi prior to the merger, separate po kasi yung the OJT and Placement Center was a separate office from Serene, which I used to head before. Serene actually stands for the Center for External Resource and Institutional Networking. So anything to do with partnerships, yan po yung hawak ng Serene. Yung OJT placement was used to be headed before by Director Juvie Hermosura, who is now the head of our Human Resource and Management office. So she has been moved there as head, and so pinag-merge po yung OPSC, OJT and Placement Center, and Serene. So the merged office is actually called the Center for Linkages, Career Development, and Placement. So there's actually a BOR resolution for the renaming. So this was just a year ago, Feb 12, 2020. And our functional statement is to encourage institutional linkages to promote innovative curricular programs, relevant student development, and faculty capability building, greater career opportunities for students, and ultimately employability of UMak graduates. Kasi yun po yung gusto po naming mangyari. Sana pagka-graduate nyo ay makakakuha po kayo ng tamang trabaho na naaayon sa natapos nyo pong kurso sa University of Makati. Okay, next slide. So our services, so of course, first and foremost, yung OJT or internship, that's interchangeable. We also provide career planning and development, placement and employment assistance, and of course, yung pang-fourth, linkaging and partnership. Flashed on screen are, first of all, our office hours. Every day, open naman po kami, virtually though, because you can't come to school. Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., except of course for holidays and work suspension days. So if sakaling makapunta po kayo ng UMak, kung pwede na, we are located at the fourth floor of the admin building. This is our phone number. So kung wala naman kayo, let's say it's difficult for you, if you really want to call us up, meron po kaming landline. And then we have 3 email addresses. So yung CLCDP, this is for general inquiries, not specific to internship or partnerships. So we have a specific email address for internships. So it's clcdp_internships@umac.edu.ph. So pag nagpapadala po kayo, kunyari nautusan po kayo ng inyong mga coordinators or advisors to collate all the materials for your classmates, you can send it to this email address. Or any inquiry actually on internship, you can send it to CLCDP_internships. Yung CLCDP_linkages, so ito po yung mga partnerships. So normally ang nag-email po sa amin dito ay yung mga partners po namin, iba't ibang partners. Of course, we have a website which is linked to the main umac.edu.ph website. You just put the /CLCDP. We are currently updating it. So, pero hopefully in the next few weeks, mas magiging kompleto na siya. So there you can learn more about our center. You can check it out also for our list of partners and contact numbers. So also the forms, obviously, you can check it out doon sa aming website. And then obviously we have a Facebook page. So I believe most of you are probably watching via our Facebook Live. So facebook.com UMAC CLCDP. Yan po ang aming Facebook address. Next slide. Okay, so just so you know, this is our organizational chart. So I head the CLCDP. Ayan po. And then I have four members of the team. Si Miss Mary Love Operio, so she is in charge of linkages and partnerships. Miss Erica Vargas for our media and events and anything to do with tech, siya po yung in charge. So if you are constantly in tune sa aming Facebook page, siya po yung main admin. So, siya po yung sumasagot ng mga messages that you send out through our Facebook page. Sometimes she answers actually yung CLCDP. If you send emails to CLCDP, she's the one who answers those emails. And then, specific to internships and career development, we have Miss Marisa Javier and Mr. Ronald De Leon. So whenever you send emails to CLCDP_internships, if you send your document requirements for deployment, sila po yung sumasagot ng email. Okay, so that's it. That's the full team. Okay, now we go to internship updates. I think I will begin now with the guidelines. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so I think I'm good. I think I'm sharing. Okay, so just to give a bit of background para alam nyo naman where all these guidelines are coming from. Okay. Um, Let me just backtrack a bit to the CMO or the CHED Memorandum Order on the Student Internship Program. And the latest one, the latest update was actually in December of 2017. Ano po ba ang ibig sabihin ng internship? So as defined in the definition of terms, Article 3, internship refers to the practical application of classroom learning to the actual in a regular work environment, such as but not limited to commercial and industrial services, government and non-government agencies. It is also synonymous to practicum, field practice, or on-the-job training. So whenever I say these words, practicum, field practice, OJT, internship, they all mean one and the same. Pero personally kasi ako, I prefer to use the word internship kasi yun po yung nasa CMO natin. So this is not synonymous to apprenticeship and learnership as defined by Republic Act. So may sarili pong guidelines. Apprenticeship and learnership, I think this is the term used for yung mga law students. Yan po yung ginagamit nila. But for most other college students, the term really for outside work experience is OJT, field practice, practicum, or internship. Okay, so guiding principle, same CMO number 104 back in 2017. The internship program is meant to provide students with an opportunity to complement their formal learning with practical knowledge, skills, and desirable attitudes, and to gain hands-on experience in a recognized host training establishment. So I guess what is key here is hands-on experience in a host. Or in the past, lagi pong merong host training establishment. And then the objective is obviously to enrich the degree programs in higher education institutions to respond to the needs of the industry, because we all know that learning cannot stop in the classroom. Kailangan lumalabas ang mga students and know how it is to be in the actual workplace. And of course, to promote mutually supportive industry academe collaboration or linkages, and to strengthen career guidance. So all throughout the years, even before 2017, we were able to implement this quite smoothly until the COVID-19 pandemic happened last year. So, na-disrupt po lahat. Pati po kami nagulantang, hindi lang po yung mga estudyante. So, obviously, kami pong mga administrators nahirapan. And so, we had to conform to guidelines and interventions imposed by, of course, we'll start off with CHED, yung government. So, what they did naman, they released a series of advisories beginning March. So the first advisory, there was a first advisory, but there wasn't really anything specific to OJT. So the very first advisory, number 2, na may mention was the one issued in March 11, 2020. So ito yung time na talagang dumadami na yung cases. This was just before the quarantine happened. And so in that advisory, President Duterte announced the suspension of classes in all levels of Metro Manila, initially until March 14, including on-the-job training, internships, and/or practicum in the NCR. So CHED also advised HEIs to adjust the training hours and/or to consider alternative modalities for OJT internships, practicum, or of affected students. So this was the first advisory. And then soon after that, nag-release ulit ng another advisory ang CHED. So sabi, facilitate. Again, they emphasize facilitate alternative activities. Kasi kung ipo-pull out nga naman na yung mga estudyante from the companies, de kailangan gawan ng alternative activities yung mga estudyante para matapos nila yung required OJT hours. And then a few days after that, sabi nila, they also emphasize na bawal, hindi na pwede yung student abroad internship. So suspended then all departures and to negotiate with the partner to adjust the program. So this was 2, 3, and 4. And then number five, kasi they were thinking na, baka after the certain period that they put there, okay na. Pero hindi pa rin nag-improve yung situation. In fact, it was even going up, more and more cases. So again, classes was suspended, including OJT, until April 14. And we were hoping, or they were hoping at that time, that it will resume on April 15. Pero hindi pa rin. So another advisory, number 6, was sent out, suspending OJT until April 30. And then I guess finally the realization na hindi na talaga realistic, mukhang the whole school year will have to be suspended, including OJT. So finally, CHED Advisory number 7 was released on May 24, 2020, saying that OJT and internship programs, both foreign and local, shall remain suspended until ECQ, MECQ, GCQ, and MGC. So all kinds of Q, basta may Q. Basta wag lang banana Q or barbecue. Basta community quarantine. Pag hindi nag-lift, sorry, no OJT. But they also said that for HEIs, or higher education institutions in MGCQ areas, pwede daw ang in-campus OJT and internship programs, provided there is strict compliance with physical distancing and other health protocols. So, as you all know, never naman umabot ang NCR ng MGCQ. Talagang at the most, GCQ lang. That was actually the lightest. So, all these months, and then ngayon umabot na ng 1 year, OJT has remained suspended. So, CHED also says that the HEIs, such as UMak, we refer to the previous stipulations, instructions issued in the previous advisories 1 to 6. Okay. So that was last year. Pero after almost a year, there were no more advisories issued by CHED. So we had to assume na ito pa rin ang in effect na COVID advisory. In March of this year, March 28, sorry, this should be March 28, 2021. This is a typo error. So what happened was CHED again issued a new advisory na ang sabi nga nila, applicable provisions applicable provisions of previously, kasi what happened in March was that tumaas na naman ulit, 'di ba, yung cases ng COVID back in March 2021. So CHED had to issue another advisory, but there was actually no specific mention of OJT. So all they said was applicable provisions of previously issued advisories not otherwise discussed below remain in force. And then they also said previous advisories covering academic year 2020 to 2021 shall apply in like manner to this coming school year whenever applicable. So in the meantime, sabi ng CHED, refer to the previous advisories for guidelines. So in other words, status quo, kung ano yung nakalagay dito sa CHED advisory number 7 remains the same. Okay. Also, they said they issued actually a temporary suspension order. So this was in July. This was last year. Student internship abroad shall be temporarily suspended for academic year 2020 to 21. As such, all applications for student internship abroad shall no longer be processed nor accepted. So hindi po kasama dyan yung maritime education. So they reiterated that. Okay, so what was the response of UMak? So last year pa lang, during the second semester, we already issued a memo, and then we immediately suspended OJT for the second semester. And then following, of course, the advisories, we said that we should allow students to render the remaining training hours within the semester without reporting to their outside training workplace, and or an option to reasonably adjust the total number of training hours. And then also what happened was, aside from that, kasi syempre yung mga estudyante kailangan mag-clearance kasi a lot of students were graduating last year. So ano yung gagawin? So in the past kasi the students would come to our office Tapos sila mismo individually would clear themselves. So, syempre, since hindi na allowed yung mga estudyante, we already allowed collective OJT internship of the students through endorsement from the college. So all these was done online. So this was during the second semester. And then when this new school year started, itong 20 yung last year, 2020 to 21, because yung CHED advisor, we're still following number 7. Ano pa rin siya, suspended pa rin siya, pero we had consultations, we consulted VP Ramos, and then sabi namin, sir, paano ba yan? Kasi hindi naman pwedeng hindi mag-OJT yung mga estudyante because this is required in the curriculum, and most of them obviously are graduating. So what we said, if it's necessary for students to undergo internship for the first semester, alternative modality will be allowed. So what does alternative modality mean? Ibig sabihin nun, online, virtual, work from home, that does not require students to physically report for on-site internship. So we're emphasizing this kasi ang daming nagtatanong, ma'am, pwede bang ano, kasi nag-i-insist yung ano, yung company kailangan face to face. So kung nag-i-insist yung company, sorry, hindi kayo pwede doon mag-internship kasi nga sa totoo lang bawal pa talaga sabi ng CHED. So this online work from home arrangement is really just a compromise para lang po magampanan nyo yung ano, yung it's not ideal. I know, even not just for you, even for us, yung mga teachers nyo, imagine paano nila mag-grade, how can they guarantee, how can they have a clear conscience that you were able to really acquire the skills necessary for OJT. Medyo mahirap, but then, you know, we are mandated, we are directed by CHED. So we have no choice but to disallow face-to-face OJT, pero as a compromise, we are allowing naman online work from home arrangement. So what is key, this is the direction that we gave to the different colleges, is that students are still provided an opportunity to complement their formal learning with practical knowledge, skills, and desirable attitudes, and gain hands-on experience. So hands-on, of course, has meant, it has become very loose kasi hindi naman talaga siya physical hands-on. But pwede mo pa rin naman sabihin hands-on in using a different platform. Online nga lang siya or distance working nga lang siya. So what is important is that the course outcomes of your OJT will be achieved. Okay, so during the first semester, we put up the Facebook page. Bago lang po. So for the first time, nagkaroon ng Facebook page ang OJT and Placement or CLCDP. So all announcement we put on the Facebook page. And then yung mga forms, they are actually in the past naman talaga, downloadable naman siya. So ngayon talagang we really pushed kasi hindi na pwede yung physical that they go to our office, we print it out for them. So ngayon we really push na kailangan online na talaga. They electronically fill it out, have the waivers signed electronically, and then send to us via email, and then wait for our instructions. So that was in the first semester. So we tried that out first. Ngayon, during the second semester, what we did, full online, we continued with that. Pero yung nangyari ngayon, we already asked the help of the different colleges kasi ang hirap po na dumediretso yung mga students. We have no way of confirming kung talagang enrolled ba kayo or hindi. Because unlike before, pupunta yung estudyante, dala-dala niya yung kanyang certificate of enrollment. But now, we don't anymore have that luxury of you coming in person and showing us your COR. So we just have to course it through your colleges kasi sila yung mag-guarantee that these are students really enrolled in the OJT program. So full online processing of your internship deployment documentation. And then during the second semester, we conducted our first OJT orientation, which premiered in Feb 16, 2021. So this was via CLCDP and UMak Facebook Live. And then we had 3 guest speakers. And then 2 months later, we also conducted our very first Career and Employment Planning Conference, again via the UMak CLCDP and UMak Facebook Live. So we had more guest speakers here and then 14 panel discussions discussants rather. I'd just like to make mention that this virtual orientation and the virtual planning conference was of course again in partnership with Jobs 180. So if it weren't for them, hindi naman talaga kami super techy. So thanks to Jobs 180, talagang natutulungan po kami. We were able to do, wala po kaming, lahat po ng mga events namin na dati mass gathering, we do it in the main theater. We were able to conduct all of them. Thank you to Jobs 180. Okay. Now, I know that a lot of you ang tanong, ma'am, ano ba yung pwedeng alternative modality? So, what I'm going to show you, this is actually a checklist. I am not saying that this will be for sure implemented by your colleges kasi yung mga OJT instructors and the coordinators, they are the ones who will make the decision on what alternative modalities you can do. Kami, as the OJT and Placement Center, we can only suggest or recommend. Pero kasi they know better. They made your curriculum. They know exactly ano ba yung learning outcomes that you must achieve at the end of the semester. So this is a checklist that we gave to them based on, so I will just show you where it's coming from. Yung kanina, yung mga pinakita kong mga guidelines, yung CMO on student internship, the definition of internship, and the guiding principles. And then, of course, yung mga advisories that I showed you earlier. Kaya ko yung pinapakita. So for your information, and also so you know where the alternative modalities, the checklist of alternative modalities that may be implemented by your advisors and your teachers may be coming from. So yung advisories, numbers 2 to 8, that were issued from March 2020 to March 2021. So yun po yung basis namin. And then next, we have been continuously benchmarking with other HEIs, not only our office, but I am pretty sure even yung colleges nyo. Tinanong namin, paano ba kayo nag-OJT dyan? How do you do it? And so we put this together. To be very honest, there are some HEIs, particularly in the provinces, hindi po sila nag-offer ng OJT na medyo nakakalungkot kasi ang mangyayari doon, hindi tuloy makakagraduate yung mga estudyante. Now, the reason for that is some HEIs find it difficult to implement yung distance OJT or online OJT kasi hindi naman lahat ng mga estudyante have access to the internet. So yan po yung nangyari. But I think in Makati, I am hoping and praying na lahat po ng mga estudyante natin already have access to internet kahit papano. That's why you're watching me right now. And we're making this flexible naman. Kung hindi nyo naman mapanood ngayon, you know, this is Facebook, so we will have a replay and you can watch it anytime it's more convenient for you. All right, so continuous benchmarking. We also sent a letter, follow-up letter. Nag-follow up kasi nagtatanong, ma'am, ano bang sabi ng CHED? So we're not just waiting for the advisory. We sent continuous letters to them. So this was in January. So finally, sumagot po sila. And then ang sabi po ni Director Akyate, sabi niya in their letter to us, there's still no new directive. They also reiterate, yung pinakita ko po kanina, yung advisory number 7, that foreign and local internship suspension during community quarantine. So it's still suspended. Basta may community quarantine, but in-campus training can be authorized in MGCQ areas with strict compliance to health protocols. So in other words, suspended pa rin. Pwede lang pagka in-campus training pag MGCQ na. So, yun. So, I really just want to emphasize this kasi marami pa rin nagtatanong ng mga estudyante, ma'am, pwede ba itong face-to-face? Hindi talaga pwede kasi we are not yet allowed. So, we just have to follow. Let's see. For this semester, wala pa silang bago. There's still no new directive. But what they told us in the letter, meanwhile, CHED is crafting new guidelines affecting internship program. We shall inform you of the developments regarding this matter. To date, so today is September 15, wala pa rin po silang pinapadalang bagong letter, or even if I Google, look at the website, there is still no new directive. So we just have to follow CHED COVID-19 Advisory number 7. Okay. And then, again, saan pa to base? So the benchmarking, the letter to us, the CHED COVID advisories numbers 1 to 8. And then what CHED actually issued was CMO number 4, series of 2020. And then this one, it's entitled Guidelines on the Implementation of Flexible Learning. So this was issued a year ago in September. So ano ba yung nakalagay doon sa flexible learning? So I just want to show this to you because it will have a bit of impact on the alternative modalities. So they said that ano ba yung scope and coverage? Ano tong flexible learning? The implementation of flexible learning as a delivery mode shall be adopted beginning school year 2020 to 21 and may be extended upon consultation with the stakeholders concerned and upon review of the commission. So, what is flexible learning? So, in the CMO, they said it's a learner-centered approach that is deeply rooted in the needs of the students. So, the main objective should be to provide learners with the most flexibility on the learning content, schedules, access, and innovative assessment, making use of digital and non-digital tools. So, let me just emphasize that. So, what the schools will do is they will maximize technology mediation as a learning delivery. Pero it doesn't necessarily mean it is limited to that. Because as what it says here, pwede din naman ang non-digital tools. So again, another stipulation in the general guidelines of the same CMO. So they said, they told sinabihan nila yung mga HEIs, okay, so do na your learning continuity plan. And then they also said, include there the systems and procedures adopted for the transition of flexible learning, including OJT and practical. So in other words, dito sa sinasabi nilang flexible learning delivery, kasama ang OJT. This CMO is actually quite long. Meron doon mga iba't ibang detalye on how they will conduct classes. Pero specific to OJT, this is it. So there is really nothing specific in the OJT. All they said is transition to flexible learning. So putting that all together, so this is what we came up with. This is actually our checklist as we transition to flexible learning delivery. So this is what we recommended to the college, alternative modalities for full credit hours. Ito pong naka-highlight, ito po yung pinaka-ideal. If you can find an HTE who is willing to accept you virtually, online, home base, so this can be an industry partner, an expert, pwede rin yung academic and community partners, pwede rin maybe within UMak or other city of Makati offices as HTE, pero off-site only. Kung tatanggapin po kayo, then this is really the most ideal. Kasi kung tatanggapin kayo and then they will accept you to conduct your internship there for the prescribed number of hours, this is perfect. Because it means to say you will do everything there except off-site lang kayo. Okay. Now, we also recommended, and I think some of the colleges are already doing this, if you are currently employed, whether freelance, pwede din naman freelance worker, basta aligned yung industry nung employer nyo, pwede rin po natin siyang i-consider as your HTE. Obviously, since probably yung mga nagtatrabaho, you're already reporting there for work. On-site is okay, provided your employer follows strict health protocols. And then, of course, pwede ding off-site. Pero please, pagka i-employ naman, kung i-consider nyo yung inyong freelance work as your OJT, make sure you have your employer's written consent, di ba? Abisuhan nyo naman in writing kasi baka mamaya magtataka yung employer, oh, bakit mo to ginawang baka kasi sometimes, di ba, your instructors will require you to submit photos or will require you will require your training supervisor to sign. Baka magtaka yung employer, bakit ano to, hindi ko to alam. So, dapat may written consent yung employer niyo if you are going to consider your current employment as your HTE. So, pwede din po yan, full credit hours, especially if you go there on a daily basis, di ba? Pag may regular schedule, mauubos nyo talaga yung buong credit hours ng inyong training. And then again, ito pong last 3 naman, this is of course subject to approval kung okay po ito sa college nyo. Kunyari nag-conduct po kayo ng relevant research undertaking, you completed it, or it's published. If it's challenging enough, I think pwede po itong i-consider ng college nyo. Relevant comprehensive project, business, activity, module development, online peer training. If you are able to develop and implement something like this, that is again challenging enough and meets the requirements of your course, pwede po yan. And then again, comprehensive program proposal, business plan, case study, policy paper writing. So pwede din po yan. But again, let me emphasize, with the approval of your coordinator or your advisor. So this was our recommendation for full credit hours. Now, there are other alternative modalities that may be granted partial. At least as far as our office is concerned, feeling namin pwede siyang partial. If you are able to participate in an external conducted by a third party online seminar, training, workshop, and there's a certificate, mas maganda po ito talaga, may certificate, pwede po siyang partial credit hours depending on, minsan kasi 1 day, 2 days, or 1 week, then this would be ideal. Pero we feel na parang partial lang siya kasi nga sa, 'di ba, hindi naman siya inaabot ng buwan, 'di ba? Usually days lang talaga siya, half day pa nga yung iba eh. If your college will also conduct online seminars, events with a certificate, this would also be ideal as partial. Ngayon, there are also other third-party organizations that conduct certification programs such as TESDA, for example, or yung mga Microsoft Office or Apple. If they will conduct certification programs for you, then pwede po siyang i-grant ng partial credit hours. If you are able to present a paper online or a lecture with certificate, pwede rin po siya. And then if any of you, kayo po, kung meron po kayong active membership to a professional organization in an aligned industry, I understand sa CBFS, I think some students are members of a, even as kahit nakaka-impress, kahit na estudyante pa lang kayo, member na kayo ng professional organization. One of your OJT coordinators said that this can be granted partial credit hours. Finally, if you are currently employed but it's not related to your course, I think pwede, at least as far as our office is concerned, pwede siyang i-grant ng partial credit hours because I believe you can learn naman yung mga practices that are needed as you conduct yourselves in the workplace. These are skills and competencies that you can learn whether or not the industry you're working in is related to your course. So again, of course, on-site is allowed provided your employer follows strict health protocols. Obviously, pwedeng off-site. And then make sure that you have your employer's written consent. So this is our checklist. Again, we recommend this to your college, but it doesn't mean na porque sinabi ko, sigurado na yan. Ultimately, your coordinator, your instructor, your teacher will make the decision kung pwede po i-allow nila itong alternative modalities. Okay, now other guidelines. First and foremost, again, let me just emphasize again, no face-to-face internship for the time being, unless yung current employment of the student is being credited as internship, and of course, the current employer observes strict DOH and IATF health protocols for on-site tasks. Mixed modalities may be employed especially for those activities that will only be given. So pwedeng alam kong ginagawa ng ibang mga advisor, nagko-combine, parang meron siyang activity, parang may training, pagkatapos may project or several trainings until mabuo yung required training hours. And kung hindi man mabuo, some are really more, flexible. Let's say hindi man mabuo yung training hours, if they feel that the students have already acquired yung required competencies for the course, they already allow it. But let me just emphasize, it will be your coordinator or your advisor who will decide kung pwede na yung mga nagawa nyong alternative modalities. So last but not the least, there's no end there. Hindi ko na natanggal. No student internship abroad for school year. Okay, in the memo release, sabi nila no student internship abroad for 2021 for school year 2020 to 2021. Now, I have not seen any new memo, so I guess we will just have to assume that even this year, this school year, for academic year 2021 to 2022, wala pa rin pong student internship abroad. Okay. We will go to the deployment procedures, but let me just show you this framework. We have a video, so hopefully it will be easier for you to know what it's going to be step by step. Pero it's kind of detailed. So baka sabihin nyo, ang dami-dami namang gagawin. Actually, it really is just composed of 3 basic steps. Pre-deployment, you have documents to submit. First of course, you will go job hunting. You will attend the internship orientation. So if you're already attending the internship orientation now, if you're here listening to me, then you've already done 1 step. And then kung whatever it is that you were able to hunt, whether it's with an HTE or an alternative modality, kailangan ipa-approve sa college and then submit documents. So later we will show you the list of documents. So that's for pre-deployment. For deployment naman, ito, wala na kayong sasubmit really in a document. So you will just implement your approved modality, and then you will be obviously be monitored by your college. We can also help in the monitoring. And then last but not the least, you will be, syempre, yung assessment. After you're done, pagtapos na yung ano nyo, natapos nyo na lahat, it will be assessed. There are documents to be submitted. Kahit na hindi kayo nag-OJT in an HTE, in a host training establishment, kailangan mag-submit pa rin ng documents because we will need this for documentation. And then, of course, you would need the clearance from us. So no orientation certificate of participation, no clearance. So it's essentially similar steps as what was done in previous years nung wala pang COVID-19. The difference lang is everything was transferred online, and then the submission of the requirements by the students will be done by CLs, but this will all be course online and collectively through your coordinator and advisor. So very important po yung role ng coordinator. Kailangan po namin sila to make sure na hindi kayo nawawala, at saka to make sure na enrolled talaga. Kasi ang hirap pag dumediretso yung mga estudyante sa amin, yung pala hindi naman pala siya officially enrolled, di ba? So the difference lang is this is all course online and collectively through your internship coordinator or advisor. Now, as what I mentioned, we already started implementing this last year, pero through downloadable forms. And then so medyo mas maraming trabaho for your coordinators and your teachers. So what we've done now, we've tried to make this a little bit easier, not only for your coordinators, but also for you. Kasi isa na lang po yung downloadable form namin, and then all the rest will be Google Forms. So now I will stop sharing and we will show you now the video. Of course, later you can ask questions. So I will stop sharing and show you the video. So para lang hindi kayo ma-overwhelm. So 3 steps lang talaga siya. Pre-deployment, attend the orientation, do your job hunting, and then of course have your modality or your HTE approved, submit documents, implement it, do your OJT, you will be monitored, and then submit documents afterwards, and then you will be issued your clearance. So yun po siya. So 3 main steps. Okay, I will now stop sharing so that Miss Erica can show you the videos.
Hi everyone. My name is Tom and I will explain the internship deployment flowchart. We will start with internship pre-deployment flowchart. CLCDP conducts the internship orientation and OJT coordinators workshop every semester prior to deployment of student interns or trainees. The schedule of the CLCDP orientation is announced through the CLCDP Facebook page. Only students who attended the orientation will be issued an internship endorsement letter and clearance certificate by CLCDP. The college coordinator will attend the OJT coordinator workshop and advises the student to attend the internship orientation. CLCDP issues a certificate of attendance to all the students that attended the internship orientation and releases to their coordinator. Student receives the certificate of attendance. If the student doesn't have a certificate of attendance from the orientation, CLCDP will not issue a clearance certificate. The student starts hunting for a host training establishment, HTE, or an alternative modality. During the internship hunting phase, students may request for referrals to HTEs when available from CLCDP via email or from their college coordinators. Internship opportunities and alternative modalities are regularly posted on the CLCDP Facebook page. Students may also inquire and apply from the active industry partners of UMak. The list and directory of active partners are posted on the UMak CLCDP website. Once the HTE or alternative modality is selected and approved by the college coordinator or advisor, student goes to the CLCDP website to access the links and fill out the following documents. Note that pre-deployment documents will include data privacy provisions, as needed, in compliance with the Data Privacy Act of 2012. For students with host training establishments, you are required to submit 1. Internship recommendation or endorsement letter. This must be signed by college representative. The college coordinator will request for the signature of the CLCDP director. 2. Internship personal information sheet or PIS. 3. Internship waiver. This must be signed by the student, his or her parent or guardian, and college representative. For students without host training establishment, you are only required to submit an internship personal information sheet or PIS. After filling out the forms, student with HTE submits all the required documents to their college coordinator, and student without HTE can start their alternative modality after submitting the required documents. The coordinator checks the documents that were submitted by the students and submits it to CLCDP. CLCDP checks all the submitted documents. If the documents are complete and correct, CLCDP signs the endorsement letter and returns it to the coordinator. If not, CLCDP returns the documents to the coordinator for completion and correction. Coordinator receives and signs the endorsement letter and returns it to the students. Hi again, here's the internship deployment flowchart. Student receives the endorsement letter and submits the endorsement letter to HTE for signing. Students then now starts the internship training. CLCDP may assist the college coordinators or advisors in monitoring the progress of the students or resolving issues or concerns with the HTEs during their internship proper. Hi again, here's the internship deployment. Lastly, here's the internship post-deployment flowchart. After completing the training hours, student requests for certificate of completion or participation or attendance from HTE or training organizer or college. Student goes to the CLCDP website to access the links and fills out the following documents. Note that post-deployment documents will also include data privacy provisions, as needed, in compliance with the Data Privacy Act of 2012. For students with host training establishments, you are required to submit 1. Rating sheet. This must be completely signed by the host training manager or supervisor, the college OJT coordinator or advisor, and the college dean. The online form may be provided by the college OJT coordinator or advisor, or may be accessed from the UMak CLCDP website. 2. Internship evaluation form. This is only required for graduating students. For students without host training establishments, you are only required to submit a 1. Internship evaluation form. This is only required if the student is graduating. After filling out the forms, student submits the required documents to college coordinator. College coordinator checks the submitted documents. If the documents are complete and correct, coordinator submits all the documents and requests for internship clearance certificate. If not, coordinator advises the student to complete and correct all the documents before submitting. Note that if the student doesn't have the certificate of attendance from the orientation, CLCDP will not release the student's internship clearance certificate. CLCDP checks all the submitted documents from the coordinator. If the documents are complete and correct, CLCDP issues an internship clearance certification and releases it to the coordinator. If not, CLCDP returns the documents to coordinator for completion and correction. Coordinator releases the internship clearance to the student. Student receives the internship clearance certificate. That is the end. If you have questions, you can ask anything during the question and answer session. For more information about the flowchart, please send us an email to clcdp@umac.edu.ph and address it to Ms. Erika Vargas. Thank you. Lastly, here's
Okay, so maybe at this point we can show you the internship form so you will know where to look for it. We can just show the video, siguro, Erica. We'll just play it.
how to access the internship endorsement letter. First, go to CLCDP website by typing www.umac.edu.ph/CLCDP. Wait for it to load. Scroll down to downloadable forms. Look for the internship endorsement letter. Click and download the letter. After downloading the letter, fill out all the information needed. Save it as PDF and submit it to your college coordinator. How to access How to fill out and submit the agreement and liability waiver form. Upon clicking the form, you will be asked to give consent to the university to collect and process the data. Click the box to proceed, then click Next. For the first section of the waiver form, fill out all the information. 1. Your full name. 2. Your UMak email address. 3. Your college. 4. Your degree. 5. Your program. 6. Your section. 7. Your training company's name. Click Next to proceed. For the second section of the waiver form, the terms and conditions are displayed. Kindly read carefully and click on all the provisions to signify the agreement. Do not leave out any provision. Missing one provision will not allow you to proceed to the next section. For the last section of the waiver form, you will be asked if you already downloaded the internship waiver form. If not, the link of the waiver form is provided at the description below the question. Click or copy-paste the link to download the form. After downloading the form, sign all that applies in the waiver form with electronic signatures. After doing so, go back to the waiver form and confirm the second question by clicking the button. Yes, I signed the form. Failing to complete the form will only cause a delay and slow down the process. For the last step, upload a completely signed agreement in PDF format. Click the Submit button. In a few seconds, you will receive an email of the summary of the form. Save it as a PDF and send it to the coordinator. How to fill out and submit the personal information sheet. Upon clicking the form, you will be asked to give consent to the university to collect and process the data. Click the box to proceed, then click Next. For the first section of the PIS form, fill out all the personal information. Next is to upload your 1x1 photo. The photo should be in JPEG format with 1 megabyte as the maximum file size. Don't forget to rename the JPG file into your name. To continue to the next section of the PIS form, answer the question, do you have a training company? Yes if you have host training establishment, and no if you have an alternative modality. If you have a host training establishment or HTE, complete the training company's information and your available schedule. If you have more than one approved training company, click Yes to enter the company's information. Click No if you have none. For an alternative modality option, complete the information of the alternative modality including 1. Project or program's name. 2. Organizer of the project or program. 3. Date of the program or the date when the project is given. If you have more than one project or program to attend, you are allowed to input 4 programs or projects to the PIS form. Click the Submit button. In a few seconds, you will receive an email of the summary of the form. Save it as a PDF and send it to the coordinator. How to fill out and submit the personal How to fill out and submit the rating sheet. Upon clicking the form, you will be asked to give consent to the university to collect and process the data. Click the box to proceed, then click Next. For the first section of the rating sheet, fill out all the information. For the last section of the rating sheet, you will be asked if you already have an internship rating sheet. If not, the link of the CLCDP rating sheet is provided at the description below the question. Click or copy-paste the link to download the form. You can also use your own college's rating sheet. After downloading the form, sign all that applies in the rating sheet with electronic signatures. After doing so, go back to the rating sheet form and confirm the second question by clicking the Yes, I signed the sheet. Failing to complete the form will only cause a delay and slow down the process. For the last step, upload a completely signed rating sheet in PDF format. Click the Submit button. In a few seconds, you will receive an email of the summary of the form. Save it as a PDF and send it to the coordinator. How to fill out and submit the evaluation form. Upon clicking the form, you will be asked to give consent to the university to collect and process the data. Click the box to proceed, then click Next. For the first section of the evaluation form, fill out all the information. Click Next to proceed. For the next section, you will answer a couple of questions regarding your experiences during your training. After finishing the questionnaire, click Next to proceed to the last part of the evaluation form. If you have suggestions to help us give you a better internship experience, kindly put your suggestions and recommendations. Click the Submit button. In a few seconds, you will receive an email of the summary of the form. Save it as a PDF and send it to the coordinator.
Sorry. If you need a MOA, an internship MOA, not all companies require this naman. Send an email to clcdp_internships@umak.edu.ph and we will send you the email. So, yung pag process nito, this should be coursed through the college. So this is a sample of the PDF submission. So pag yun na nga 'di ba sabi paano to, Erica? So, what happens if this is a sample of the PDF that you will receive as soon as you finish filling out the form. So this is a sample of what you will receive via email. So you can send this to your coordinators or advisors. This is for an internship agreement and waiver. Okay. So, what I will do now is kasi sabi niyo, ma'am, ang dami-dami naman. So, hindi, ito pa rin naman yung dati. So let me just summarize. Okay, so for pre-deployment, so what do you need? So ito, bago pa kayo mag-start with your OJT. First, and then of course here I put kung with HTE or no. So if you have a host training establishment, obviously you need a recommendation letter. So this is as what was mentioned earlier. This is downloadable through the website. So you fill out all the forms and then ang tanong, para saan ba to, ma'am? So this is required by the host training establishment para naman na-introduce kayo properly doon sa company. And of course, the colleges need this. Next, the agreement and liability waiver. So this is Google form. You can download it you can fill out the Google form from our website. So this is usually required by the host training establishments. So again, kailangan lang to pag meron kayong host training establishment. So, sabi nyo, ma'am, para saan to? Kasi yung mga ibang host training establishment, hindi sila nagre-require ng MOA. So, this will take the place of the MOA. Third, PIS. So, this is Google form and you can access the form through the CLCDP website. Just note lang, although this is Google form, you need to upload your photo. So yon. So importante yon. So you upload your photo through the Google form. So what is this needed for? So we actually need to submit this for our reports during planning and also during accreditation. So itong PIS, ito yung importante whether you have a host training establishment or kahit alternative modality siya, you need to submit this. And then if you notice, kunyari meron kayong more than one company, you can actually continue filling it out. Kung kulang pa, let's say kasi there are some students who will go to different companies. It actually allows for 4 companies. Kung kulang pa rin naman yun, you can send us an email to request for the form because you won't be able to access it anymore. Once kasi nadidetect, of course, nung algorithm na nag-request ka na, but you can request it by sending us an email. Fourth, yung memorandum of agreement. This is in italics because this means this is not required for all. Only if this is required by your host training establishment or your college. So you can request for the template by sending us an email. What this is important because this is actually stipulated in the CMO. Pero yun na nga, we all know this is not realistic to implement kasi ang hirap din. It takes time, you need signatures, it needs approval. So we only prepare this if this is required by the host training establishment. So this is for pre-deployment. Next. Okay, so during deployment itself, you don't need to submit us any documents. During post-deployment, number one, the rating sheet. But again, this is only for those students with an HTE. Normally, I guess for most colleges, merong sariling rating sheet yung college nyo. Pero if not naman, we have our own customized template, which again, you can access via Google Form by going to our website. It needs signatures of your host, of your training supervisor. Kaya what you need to do is to download the form and attach it to the Google form. So this is required by the colleges. This is implied in the CMO. And we also report this for planning and during accreditation. Number 6, so this is the crucial thing, yung certificate of completion, participation, or attendance. So this is needed whether meron kayong host training establishment or wala. Because if you notice, did you see yung alternative modalities? If you will attend a training, especially those conducted by outsiders, nag-i-issue pa rin naman sila ng certificate. So you need to submit a certificate. Ngayon yung tanong, ma'am, what if inassignan ako ng project nung professor ko? Then, this can be issued by your college. So as what we put here, the source, either the HTE, the training group or organizer, or the college. So this is actually required by the colleges and this is stipulated in the CMO. So this is actually very important. Next. The internship evaluation. I think this is the last already. So we need to get feedback from you on how the internship went, especially ngayon na new normal tayo. This is not anymore the usual on-the-job training that I experience or maybe your ates or your kuya's experience. So we just need to know what your feedback is because we know it's not ideal, but we want to constantly improve our services and the way we conduct our alternative modalities. So this is the form, is actually accessed through our website. Google form po ito. So you need to download the form and then attach it to the Google form. Kasi kailangan po ng signature. Kasi yun, dun po kami nahihirapan with Google form. Yung Google form kasi doesn't allow signatures or multiple signatures. So you still need to download the form and then attach it to the Google form. But I think you're all techie naman. You're more techie than me, and hopefully you will be able to follow and do as what is required by the instructions that we stipulated. So this is only for graduating students undergoing their last training. Pag hindi nyo naman last training, no need for you to fill out the evaluation form. This is stipulated in the CMO, and this is also part of what we report during planning, review, and accreditation. So if you look at the last two columns, we require this with HTE or kahit alternative modality. We need to know how you evaluate the OJT that you went through. Next, meron pa ba? Okay, that's it. Oh, okay. Maybe at this point, we just want to flash our activities for the school year. So we have the internship orientation today. The career forum and the career fair, we normally conduct it during the second semester, but we will try to see if we have time. We will try to see if we can conduct either a career forum or another career fair for this second semester. We what we have for sure this semester is the Industry Partners Recognition Day, where we invite all the partners and give them recognition. We are also updating our internship manual, so we can serve you better. So this one, we are doing it with your colleges. Okay, I think this is my last slide. Maybe at this point, I can go straight to the questions that I see here in the chat box. Okay, if approved na po yung bakuna bubble, is it possible for fully vax students to take their OJT outside? The 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 approval for this is not dependent on us. Pag inallow to ng CHED, then we can do it. But if CHED, will not issue any memo allowing face-to-face OJT, then there's actually nothing that we can do about it. I will, Miss Ika, I'll go through. I know I'm kind of running out. Okay, wala bang second chance? I'm not sure what you mean by second chance OJT. Actually, that's dependent on your college. If you're saying that you may not be able to do OJT this school year, then okay, pwede naman hindi kayo mag-enroll, nasa sa inyo yon. Then just enroll again when it's available on your part, di ba? Okay, paano kung pumayag yung supervisor but yung HR po sa workplace hindi? Sinong hindi kasi pwedeng pumayag yung supervisor na hindi pwedeng pumayag yung supervisor na hindi ina-allow ng HR. Hindi talaga pwede. I'm sorry kasi mapapahamak hindi lang kami as your school but also yung company na bakit nag-allow ng OJT. So unfortunately kasi hindi po talaga kasi depende sa amin yung pagpapapayag. We are only following the rules as mandated by CHED. Papayagan ba ng UMak ang students na deploy kung sakaling pwede po vaccinated or not? We don't have any guidelines yet on kung vaccinated. If we have those, then obviously we will release those as soon as possible. Iko-combine po ang okay. Okay, that's it. Those are the questions. Miss Ika, any more questions ba that I wasn't able to answer?
Yes, Miss Cynthia. So we have a question. Sa mga working students po, ang ipa-follow po ba is yung forms and documents with HTE?
What do you mean? I'm
think
not sure
the
what you mean.
student
Okay.
is working student, so they have an existing company.
Okay. I got it. So what you will accomplish are the forms with HTE. Kasi yon, you can submit naman. You need to submit. Dapat may letter pa rin, PIS. Yes. Kasi they will act as your as your host training supervisor. So yes, please follow the forms for those with HTE.
Another question po, Ma'am Cynthia, if makakredit po ba yung work pero sa family business po, pero aligned naman yung work niya dun sa course?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you were to ask me personally, pwede. But again, I'm not the approving. I'm only recommendatory. So you need to ask approval from your OJT coordinator or advisor. Pero ako personally, I think pwede naman, lalo na it's aligned. No problem.
Okay, so I think this is the last one that we'll be having. Makikredit po ba yung time na na-render prior to August 23 or prior to the beginning of December?
Alam mo, I think parang hindi kasi I've been also discussing kailangan nagawa siya for this semester kasi kung ganoon, 'di ba? Paano yung last year, 'di ba? Ang dami ng it will create a precedent kasi mamaya sabihin, ako ma'am, paano yung last year? Pwede ba yon? Hindi, kailangan this semester. I've been also discussing this with some of the coordinators. Parang ang alam ko sa kanila, inclined sila, kailangan yung mga na-render lang for this semester. Pero I don't know, maybe check with your with your advisor. Pero I think that's what they're ito na lang semester, wag na yung noon, 'di ba? Para talagang monitor kayo ng mga ano nyo, ng mga supervisors nyo. Pwede
Okay,
po
last
bang
question. Pwede po bang mag-change ng company sa endorsement letter?
I think so. Basta this is allowed by your that actually happens. May mga nangyayari po na cases na, oh, bakit bumalik na naman? Kasi nagbago yung company. For whatever reason, it's not naman always the student's fault, di ba? Yung kanya-kanyang. So yes, we actually allow this for as long as, of course, yung company is approved. Yun ang, that is what is key. For as long as it is approved by your teachers or your coordinator.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Cynthia. We still have some questions in our live stream, but CLCDP Facebook account will answer those questions. You can also address your questions by sending them an email or a message through their accounts that they have shared earlier. So just a reminder, everyone, you need to answer the evaluation form for this orientation so that you can get one of the certificates that you need for the pre-deployment. Tama po ba, Ma'am Cynthia?
Yes po. Yes, Miss Ika. And then yung pag ng forms, I suggest you go to the website kasi baka medyo mabilis, baka parang mahirap. Actually, it's not difficult. Explore it para even before kahit wala pa kayo para makita, okay, hindi naman pala siya ganung. It's really just filling out a Google form. If I can do it, what more kayo, 'di ba? Oh my gosh, Gen Z, 'di ba? If I can fill it out, I'm twice your age or even more, then I think it will be easy for you to do. So don't be overwhelmed. Baka isipin niyo, naku, dami-dami naman. It's actually going to be easier on your part and on the part of your coordinators. Yun. So thank you, Miss Ika, and I hope I was able to answer most of the questions. But if not, you can send us an email, contact us via Facebook.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Cynthia, for sharing all of the important details and procedures that our student interns should take note of. So again, if you have questions that we weren't able to answer, you may include your questions in the evaluation form. So there will be a section there where you can type in your questions, or the best way is you can also message them via their email or Facebook account. Okay, so thank you so much. So now let us proceed to what you can expect and what is expected from you in the workplace. So our next speaker, he is a chemical engineer from Adamson University. He earned his master's in business administration at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and completed his doctorate in business administration at the Eulogio Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology. He has been with us in the University of Makati since 1998 under the College of Technology Management and started his administrative journey in 2007 as the head of Human Resources Department Office. In 2010, he was appointed as the head of the Supply and Property Management Office, and in 2011, he was designated as the college secretary of the College of Business Administration. Back then, he also led the University Research Journal from 2013 to 2019 as its research director. From 2019 until the present, he is our designated university secretary, sharing with us his insights on internship, key to employability, engineer look, Ivan B. Moro. Sir Ivan, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Aika. Thank you for the introduction. And good afternoon, students. Okay, allow me to share my screen.
Okay, so while we're waiting for Sir Ivan to share his screen, so this time, student interns, you will getting information on what you can expect in the workspace. I know a lot of you, this is the nerve-wracking part, so take notes. Ready, sir?
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Okay, allow me. Good afternoon once again, and allow me to start with my presentation. So, this is an orientation on internship, and my presentation is entitled "Internship Key to Employability." So, uh, is my screen visible, Miss Aika? Okay.
Yes, sir, it's visible po.
Okay. So, the Philippines. One thing going for the Philippines is that it's a rich source of labor. Okay, so s- from Statista, okay, this is the median age of the of Southeast Asian countries in 2020 in years. So you take a look at Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Okay, so the Philippines is the youngest among these uh, five countries. So Singapore is the biggest economy in Southeast Asia, Singapore. And so Thailand, I don't know which comes next, if it's Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines. So if you notice, the Philippines is the youngest among these five countries, no? So the median age right now is almost 26 years. That means half of the population is 26 years old below, and the other half is 26 years old and above. So that's quite young. And so what does that mean? We can be a good source of labor for Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia. Singapore is just about 6 million. So Thailand is about 60, almost 70 million. Okay. Then Vietnam is almost 100 million. Brunei is only 400,000. It's not even half a million. Okay. Malaysia is about 33 million. Indonesia is about 270 million, while the Philippines are about 110 million. Okay, so ibig sabihin half, so 55, okay? Or 55 million of the Filipinos are 25.7 or almost 26 years old below. So these are young workers. So it's a good thing that we have University of Makati. The city is investing on its human capital along with the rest of the country, no? So the Philippines in general needs to invest in its human capital kasi ito yung panlaban natin eh. We are a good source of labor, quality, world-class workers. Okay? So that's one thing going for us. One good thing going for us. Okay? So, so that's why you're pursuing this college education, which will serve as your passport to a good job and and ultimately a good life. Okay, so what is internship? So I got this definition from CHED Memorandum Order. Okay, it's the practical application of what you learn in the classroom. Okay, applied in a regular work environment. So whatever you learned in the last three years, you will apply that in a real world work setting. Okay, so this is your chance to prove, to demonstrate what you learned. Okay. So other terms are OJT, field practice or practicum. Now, as when you graduate from college, you have nothing much to offer except your diploma, your good grades, and your internship. Okay, so I got this from jobstreet.com, and this was 2015 now, a study conducted in 2015. Now, the employers want fresh graduates to highlight in job interview is their experience during internship. 80% of those hirers want fresh graduates to relate to them what they learned in the internship. Okay, that's the importance of internship. Why? Grades are not grades is only about your only shows your ability. It's an aptitude. So if you have good grades in, say, for example, math or algebra for that matter, it only means that you can do math. You have an aptitude for mathematics. But internship, okay, and part-time job for that matter, really shows what you have been able to do. Okay, it does not show what you can do, but it shows what you have been able to do. So actual behavior. So this is what matters. So that's the importance of internship. And right at the outset, this early in my presentation, I like to you to take note of that. Okay. I hope you will not approach your internship as nothing but a compliance for graduation, for you to finish your studies. You should view this as your opportunity to demonstrate what you learned in the classroom, so that when you have that first chance for a job interview, for your first job, you will have clear, specific answers to the questions your interviewer will ask you. Okay, so this your experience from this internship could help you land you your first job. So I hope that is quite clear to you, no? So yun talaga ang pakiusap ko. Please do not approach this as nothing but compliance, but rather view this as a chance to learn, to demonstrate your trainability. Okay. So this, what do employers look for in fresh graduates? So, the willingness to learn, initiative, honesty and integrity, self-motivated or self-starter, and self-confidence. Okay? So those are behavioral skills, but what about functional skills? So communication skills, yeah, trainability, competence, problem solving and analytical skills, and tech know-how. So um, so how old are you right now? About 20, 21. So you were born already with a cell phone, while my generation had to learn. Okay, you were born and you grew up with internet. So well, my generation had to learn this. So for you, it comes quite natural for you to navigate the technology, no? So that shouldn't be a challenge. But for the others, well, internship can help you uh, not acquire these skills, because let's go back to the definition of internship. It's about an application of what you learned. So here, internship is not an opportunity for you to acquire skills, but rather to hone the skills that you're supposed to have acquired in the study phase of your education, college education. Okay, so uh, prior to the pandemic, uh, so OJT students uh, um, fill up a rating form, and the rating form uh, contain uh, qualitative comments from the supervisors. No, so these were processed into, and the comments were processed and classified to this soft skills for employment. So professionalism, integrity, reliability, communication, problem solving, adaptability, self-direction, and creativity. Okay? So the focus of the study was to determine really what kind of soft skills the students were able to demonstrate during their internship. Okay? And as observed by the supervisors who rated the students. Now, so this this study was a result of processing the comments, the feedback from the supervisors of OJT students during school year 2017, 2018, and 2018, 2019. So this was really before the pandemic. Okay. Uh, so the feedback were classified as positive and negative, and a total of 1,019 positive feedback were analyzed, and 948 negative feedback. Okay, so who were the students that that serve as the basis of this feedback of this analysis now of this research? Well, students from College of Arts and Letters, CGPP, CTM, College of Tourism and Hospitality Management, College of Sciences, and CBFS. Okay, so what are the results? Okay, based on the positive comments, the most important soft skills, because saan galing yung positive comments? In yung what are the strengths of the OJT? Okay? What are the weaknesses of the OJT? So yung positive comments from the strengths of the OJT, negative comments from the weaknesses of the OJT. So these were used as basis. The comments of the supervisors were interpreted as this is what they value. If they were able to observe na ay parang ito yung they highlight the strength and the weaknesses of these of this OJT. This is what they value, this is what they value from an OJT and from a new employee, fresh grad. Okay, so based from the results from the analysis, what they value most is reliability, followed by professionalism and integrity. Okay? Then self-direction. Yun yung self-starter, self-motivated. Okay? Or initiative din. So, pinag-isa. So, now, based on negative comments, how do you interpret the negative comments? Yun din, ganun pa rin. They were able to they highlight the weakness of the students, meaning to say, this is, again, it was interpreted as, ito yung mahalaga sa amin. They called out the attention of the, they called out the attention because ito yung parang, mahalaga. That what a student should develop. Okay? So, the same result, no? Reliability and followed by professionalism or integrity. But, nagkaiba lang sa third. So, communication skills. Okay? So, yan. So, the next is, what is reliability? Yan. So, these are specific comments, real comments from the supervisors about the OJT. So what are the positive feedbacks? So, you'll have an idea what is reliability. Precise in any given task. Quick learner and follows direction well. Consistently arrives to work on time and all the required tasks are completed on time. So, how do we analyze that? So, reliability means being punctual. Okay? Reporting regularly. and being on time. Okay? Then finish the task ahead of time. Precise in any given task. So that's competence. Knows the job. Kayang gawin yung trabaho. Alam niya kung paano gagawin. So, always meet work deadlines and schedules. Can work under pressure and with less supervision. Has good communication skills and can follow instructions. So, um, I have to emphasize this, no? In one comment kasi, that can fall to two or even more soft skills. Like for example, always meet work deadlines and schedules, can work under pressure and with less supervision, has good communication skills and can follow instructions. So good communication skills that so for this same comment, uh, merong tatlong soft skills ang hina-highlight niya. Communication skills, work deadlines and schedule. So, dalawa lang pala. So, this is about reliability. Can work under pressure and with less supervision. Yan. Okay? So, now, let's talk about negative feedbacks naman yan. Frequent absences. Punctuality is unsatisfactory. Yun na nga, no? As I've said earlier, kasi kung ang tingin mo sa OJT ay parang compliance lang, talagang ganito mangyayari. Late, hindi kaya absent. But if you view that as parang real work, medyo that your attitude will change also. I would expect that you'd be more punctual. You'll attend to attend your OJT class in a more regular manner. Okay? Yan, limited knowledge in Microsoft Office program. So again, reliability includes being knowledgeable about the job. Okay? Includes technical know-how, job specific skills. It's not just attitude. It's not just about being punctual. Okay? It also means having the technical know-how to do the job. How about professionalism and integrity? Yan. Can work in accepts constructive criticism. So be trainable. Hindi kapag napagsabihan ay magtatampo and parang magpapalipat or whatever. So I've had former students who resigned from their first job. When I asked them why, kasi yung amo. So napagsabihan yata. So huwag maging balat sibuyas. Okay? So because that's one fact of life. You're still in the learning stage, even if you have graduated. So you're still in the learning process. So be open to criticisms. Okay? So what is professionalism and integrity? Yun, trustworthy, presentable, and dress appropriately. Yeah. And being accountable, have that sense of responsibility. Okay? So that's professionalism and integrity. Work with courtesy and optimistic, has a good working attitude. Kaya these are real real comments kaya if you notice medyo grammar wise medyo inconsistent, di ba? Work with courtesy and optimistic. So parallelism hindi masyadong di ba? Nasunod. Okay? How about negative feedbacks? Has laconic characteristics, parang ano ba yung laconic? And sometimes deafening, so maingay. Okay? So be mindful of who you are talking to and always be professional, especially inside the office premises. Yeah. Okay? So how you conduct yourself in the workplace. Then, improve grooming despite having a hard time on duty. And doing school obligations during work, yan. So, do not do that. Okay? So, you're there to work, so therefore, wag gawin sa workplace yung although this was during the pandemic, so hindi niyo to ma-violate siguro ngayon. Pero, students are quite guilty of this, di ba? I've experienced this also, yung nagkaklase ako, iba ang ginagawa ng mga students ay para sa ibang subject. Okay? So, hindi nyo pwedeng gawin yan in the workplace, in your OJT. Although right now, yung OJT ay online, still, if you're being asked to do a task, do it. So, may ano na, so may deadlines, so observe deadlines. Okay? There were instances that she wasn't being honest with the timing. So that's professionalism, integrity, ha? So be honest about your work. Now, self-direction. Does the assigned task without waiting for instructions. Yeah, so that's self-direction. Has shown that she can handle my assigned task and eager to learn. Hardworking and has initiative. Okay? Works proactively. So yun din yun. I-anticipate mo kung ano yung ine-expect sa'yo. What is negative feedback about self-direction? Ayan, has no initiative. Needs constant reminder on the given task. So, kailangan i-follow up. So, mukhang kailangan ng supervision. Needs prompting to do routine daily tasks. So, kailangan pang medyo itulak. So, yun nga, to be prompted. Not showing the right initiative when it comes to work procedures. Okay? How about communication? Has good communication skills and can follow instructions. Listens to instructions and eager to learn. So meaning to say, communication is not just about being able to speak, being able to read, but also being able to listen. Ayun, the most neglected communication skill, listening skills. Okay? Being attentive to his or her supervisor, you need first to listen. And listen well, because you cannot carry out a task kung hindi mo naintindihan yung instruction, di ba? At hindi mo naintindihan ang instruction because you were not listening. So what is communication in a negative from a negative perspective? Yeah, if stated in a negative way, yeah, not that good communicating with the guest. Verbally unexpressive. Yan. Okay, ito. Reports could use some work with spelling and grammar. So be mindful. Okay? Grammar matters. Okay? Because you cannot, miscommunication could happen with wrong spelling and wrong grammar. So clear communication starts with good grammar. Now, let me share this with you. So this is the English Proficiency Index from Education First. Okay, it's a website that measures the proficiency of a country on the English language. So we're next to Singapore among ASEAN countries. Globally, we're ranked number 27. Okay? So that has been our advantage. So yesterday, we just interviewed an alumnus who's now working in Qatar. Okay? And he shared with us that they prefer Filipinos. So he has staff that are Nepali, from Bangladesh, and Qatari. And the Qatari prefer to work, prefer to hire Filipinos because of our command of the English language. Okay? Um, it's sad that until now we still continue to deploy Filipinos to work abroad, but and uh, on a positive note nga, we have this brand. We have been able to create a brand, an image for our country that Filipinos are good, competent, technically competent, good workers because they have uh, the command of the English language. And we have good people skills. Yun ang nagustuhan ng mga banyaga sa atin. Okay? Ang mga Pilipino. So we are a preferred worker over other nationalities like India or Nepali or Bangladesh. Okay? So, or in the ASEAN countries. So, magaling tayo sa communication skills. Magaling tayong and our communication skills is not just about our command of the English language, but it's also about how we relate with other people. Okay? But uh, yun nga, no? So, our advantage is our command of the English language. And I do hope that you will work on your English communication skills because sadly, there's just not enough jobs here in the Philippines. And the jobs that are available, like even in the are usually in the BPO, which again which requires you to have a good command of the English language. Okay, so uh, work on your English communication skills, and that just might be your uh, passport. Okay, to a good job in the future. Now, I must warn you that there is a move to standardizing English proficiency. So it's not enough that uh, you claim that you're good in English language. You must have concrete proof to show that you have the command of the English language. So papunta na dun ano, mayroong merong standardization. Like for example, so if you're looking for admission to admission for university for a foreign university, so that requires a certain score. Okay, you must have at least 7.5 score in the IELTS. Yeah. So papunta na tayo doon. And maybe in the future, baka ganun din. If you want to work abroad, you must have a minimum, say, score of, say, for example, 900 in TOEIC or a score of 6.5 in IELTS. Okay? So please brush up on your English if you have plans. Whether you have plans to work abroad or here in the Philippines, it does not hurt if you have a good command of the English language. Okay, so I do hope you'll work on that. And again, it's important that in the workplace that you'll the internship you'll make use of the internship for you to uh, hone to sharpen your communication skills. Okay? Now, teamwork, interpersonal skills. So, dito nga tayo magaling, no? We are acknowledged to be uh, good team players. That's why we're everywhere. The the foreign employers simply love our work ethic. They trust that we have the technical competence, we're good team players, and we're good uh, in serving customers. Kaya if you look at if you try to analyze the jobs where Filipinos are preferred and excel, ito yung mga service oriented domestic helper, doctors, nurses, mga services and this requires a nurturing temperament, okay? And being a good team player also. Yeah. Okay? So what is teamwork or interpersonal skills? Yeah. Easy to work with. Works cooperatively in group situations. And a team player. Work harmoniously with others, polite and courteous with other people. So negative feedback, makikita mo, parang he works independently. So anong na-violate niya? Parang he's not a team player. So again, interpreted yun as the lack naman of interpersonal skills. Okay? Yan. Needs improvement in terms of creating interpersonal relationship. Doesn't know how to mingle with employees. So, this is what they value. Kapag pag napansin nila, ibig sabihin, oy, kulang ka talaga. And that para sa mga supervisors, these are also important. Okay? Now, problem solving or adaptation skills. Yeah. Displays a great attribute of skillfully moving around obstacles as they present themselves. Okay? Handle situation with ease. Comfortable with change and efficient. Yan, comfortable with change. Yan, so you need to learn to be adaptable and you need to learn to change priorities because in the workplace talagang kuminsan ano ba, may ginagawa sa'yo, ay, wag na muna yan ang gawin mo, ito na muna. So, nag-iiba talaga ang what is urgent and what is not. Okay? It happens. And you should be ready to welcome those kind of changes in plans. Okay? So, negative feedback. Now, try to be more resourceful in work. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya problem solver. Kumbaga problem raiser. Parang, ay, wala ho tayong ganito so anong solusyon mo? Okay? So, lack of determination to do or figure out one task or solve a problem. So, yun na nga, hindi problem solver. And I trust that the University of Makati students are good problem solvers. I've heard so often that even among students, ang gusto nila sa I've heard this often, yung madiskarte. That's how they describe themselves. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, gumagawa ng paraan. Okay? Sinusolusyonan kung ano man yung mga problema na-encounter. So, I trust you'll find ways. I trust that UMak students will be good in problem solving. Now, creativity, innovation, because as I mentioned earlier, some of the students who were subjects of this study were from the College of Arts and Letters, specifically specifically from the Digital Arts program. Okay? So, syempre, from that, medyo kailangan talaga creative sila. So far naman, they were appreciated for their creativity. Pero kung minsan, meron din nakikita na lack of creative thinking. Okay? So in conclusion, like I said, being reliable is the most valued soft skills. And it has 3 elements. Yun nga, you have to know the job, technical competence, and you have to be mindful of the deadline. Okay? So, uh, not just deadline, but also punctuality. Okay? How can you meet deadlines if you're not punctual? Kung lagi kang late or absent. So, when you do your work, you have to know that dapat do it right the first time. Yung ang definition natin ng quality, di ba? If you have the technical competence, then you will be able to meet deadlines. So you have to be mindful of the time. Finish the task on time or ahead of time. Okay? Then stress resistant. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Hindi ka naghahang. So you can work even under pressure. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng stress resistant. You have to be mentally tough and still think even with tight schedules. So yun ang reliability. Marunong, kayang dedicated, so kayang gawin yung trabaho on time, and yun nga, matibay, stress resistant. And also professional conduct in the workplace, proper dressing or grooming. Okay? So observe proper dressing. Um, we just recently we called the attention of uh, of one faculty kahit na pumunta sa school na although walang klase, walang students, but still pumunta sa school ng parang medyo na parang pupunta lang sa palengke. Of course not, it's not acceptable, di ba? So ganun din kayo, please. So proper dressing and grooming. So when you go online, please observe proper dressing and grooming. Be able to accept constructive criticism. So, you have no control on how criticism will be phrased, no? Sadly, katulad yung nangyari kay Roque. So, di ba, na-expose yung ano niya. So, some criticisms are not constructive. More often than not, they're not constructive. Okay? So, but take it as a lesson, as a learning experience, and because yun nga, as an OJT, you have no control of what kind of people yung madadatnan mo sa workplace. Okay? There are really tough bosses. Okay? Kung alam niyo yung The Devil Wears Prada, meron talagang mga ganyang amo. Okay? So, they're terrible, but, yun nga, hindi naman ikaw mamimili sa ano, you have no place, you have no ano naman eh. You don't have much choice, di ba? The only choice is to leave, but really have no control in who you will work with. The only thing that you can do is learning how to deal with this kind of people. Okay, so learn to accept criticisms, be open for new experiences, and be organized in your approach towards work, and has a sense of accountability. So never make the mistake that your supervisors, that the workers, the people are not observing you. They are. Parang baka nga it may not be fair, but baka nga parang minsan ka lang nadaanan tapos wala kang nagawa, pero walang ginagawa or whatever. They may not call your attention, but they will take note of that. Okay? And they will remember that come evaluation time. So, always be mindful in your behavior while you are in your OJT. So, how can you best demonstrate this professionalism and integrity in the workplace in an online environment? So the best way to really demonstrate that is really yan, grooming and language. These are really observable, ano, di ba? Grooming, so observe proper dressing, be careful of your language, and uh, be mindful of your time. Okay, use your time well. So be mindful of the time. Always be on time, and finish the task ahead, if possible, ahead of time. Okay, so I do hope you'll keep this in mind, and I do hope you'll be able to um, yun nga, yeah, maitaguyod. Kumaga, itayo niyo yung bandila ng UMak, as UMak graduates are UMak students as competent and reliable potential employees. That's all, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Ivan, for sharing to our student interns some very valuable feedback about the realities of the workplace. So, on behalf of the Center for Linkages, Career Development, and Placement, we would like to present to you our certificate of appreciation for sharing your knowledge and expertise. Thank you so much, Sir Ivan, and I hope our student interns also took note of your reminder to them to take this internship not as a mere graduating requirement or school requirement, but also as a valuable opportunity for them to learn in the workplace. Thank you so much, Sir Ivan.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so now that we have heard the UMAC perspective in terms of the guidelines, what are the expectations from you in the workplace based on our previous student interns experiences, let us now proceed to the industry and the valuable resource speakers that we have today. For our first industry resource speaker, he has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, and business development, customer service, operations, business processes, and human resources. He is a trusted resource speaker and has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. So, to help you stand out in your applications through his discussion of creating a job winning resume, here's the managing director of jobs180.com, Sir Kim Chua. Welcome, sir.
Allow me to share to you how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. A lot of you are now looking for a job and exploring for the next chapter in your life. I hope that this session will be able to help you. Not only you, but the people that you know that needs help in terms of how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. So yan na tinatawag nating resume link. A lot of platforms right now, mga online platforms are being offered left and right. But for you to know paano to magiging job-winning tool or job-winning resume to, meron akong checklist. So go with me, with all these checklists. Your checklist should include the following. Number 1, kailangan mag-stand out ka. When you look for a job, you have to be able to stand out. Because if you're not going to be able to stand out, then I think you'll just be part of the crowd. You'll be one of the next applicant na wala lang, na hindi mapapansin. Another thing that should be in your checklist is that you should only have one file. Hindi dapat maraming files na iba-iba sinesend sa mga companies. Mas maganda, isang file lang para pag sinend mo, lahat ng details mo nandoon na. Another thing in your checklist is that it should make the process more efficient. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis mag-submit, mas mabilis makita ng HR, at mas mabilis kayo makontak for possible next steps na or possible job offer na. Now, another thing in my checklist is that dapat tipid ito, wala tong gastos. The tool that I will show you today, wala itong gastos. Libre po ito. At higit sa lahat, itong pinaka-importante sa lahat, this should be in your checklist. The tool should be secured. Okay? More than anything, importante talaga ang data. Pero ang data ninyo dapat yung protectionan. And using this tool, this is the most secured resume kung tawagin. Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Let me go through the next slides na. Okay? Ito ang tinatawag na resume link. Okay? A personalized URL for anyone can open online anytime. I will use an example para makarelate kayo. If you are John Santos, ang link mo or resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang resume link nyo. So how do you make one? Go with me through the 3 simple steps. First step is you have to register. Absolutely, wala tong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you register? You go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dun ka mag-register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, you have to put the basic information. Okay? So, alam nyo na ano mga information yan. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. Babawasan nyo naman at alam nyo naman ano dapat ilagay. Now, as you create your account, you have to use a valid email. Okay? Now, before we go to the email, paalala ko lang, sa mga nag-isip sa inyo, paano kung hindi ako si John Santos, ano gagawin kong resume link? O yan, baka nag-isip kayo eh. So, if ever lang, mayroon kang kapangalan, okay, just so happen na may ibang John Santos na nauna sa inyo, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot. Pag taken na, okay lang, just be creative. Pwede mo gawin, baliktarin mo. Gawin mo santosjohn.jobs180.com o kaya J Santos o kaya Santos J o kaya JS o kaya SJ. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapangalan. Okay? Wala kang kapareho. Now, when you do this, huwag kayong OA. Do not create yung mga ganong klaseng over-creative na mga resume link because it doesn't look professional. Imagine submitting to a company with your resume link that says eljablo.jobs180.com. Hindi yan mukhang professional. Okay? Now, when you register, please use a valid email. Ito yung emphasis ko lang sa pag-create nyo ng account na dapat gamitin yung email, yung nabubuksan yung email, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, or any email na nabubuksan nyo. Do not create, example lang yung mga email na kagaya ng ganito, patricia@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng joseph@facebook.com na email to register. In short, huwag mong gagamitin yung @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notification being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na nabubuksan nyo yung email nyo kasi kailangan mo i-verify yung account mo. Okay? It is very important that you verify your account as a proof na ikaw nag-register at pangalawa, para ikaw yung makapag-apply. If you don't do this, if you don't verify, walang mangyayari sa account nyo. Okay? So, sayang lang. So, you have to verify to finish the first step. Okay? How do you verify? Just open your email, look for the link, click mo yung verify, you're done with the first step. Okay? Tapos na yung first step. Ano yung first step? Register. Wala tong bayad. Let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Kailangan kumpletong detalye nyo. So, how do you do that? You go back again to your account by going to the website of jobs180.com. This time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ang gagawin mo, mag-login. Pag login mo, lagay mo dito yung email nyo or resume link nyo. Kayo lang may alam yan. At lalo na yung password nyo na kayo lang talaga may alam yan. So, when you do that, you now go inside your account. Pag nasa loob na kayo ng account nyo, ano gagawin nyo? Mabilis na lang ito. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Now, I don't have to go through all the information here because definitely, alam mo naman pag sinabi ditong name, malamang pangalan nyo. Pag nakalagay dito address, malamang address nyo. Diba? So you put all the information ninyo dito. Okay, lagay nyo. Then, what else do you put in here? Importante po, lagay dito lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR, kagaya ng social media account nyo. Diba? Hindi lang email tsaka phone number. Bakit? Most of the time, ano nangyayari? Okay, let me tell you. Marami sa inyo nilalagay nyo phone number nyo. Pero pag tinatawagan kayo ng HR, hindi nyo sinasagot. Lalo na pag hindi mo kilala. Hala, sino kaya ito? Hindi mo sasagutin. Diba? Kasi takot kayo, baka nagsascam or whoever yung tumatawag. So ano mangyayari sa mga HR? Mag-i-email kami ngayon sa inyo. But you don't open email more often that you open your social media account. So I recommend lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Kagaya ng mga Facebook nyo or Twitter nyo para mabilis tayo makapag-PM. Private message, makapag-invite for the next step. Okay? What else do you put here? You also put here your work options, yung mga work experience nyo. Pagdating po sa work options, you can see on the screen, you have 4 options na pwede nyo pilian. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no switch, on, off switch. So you can choose here, example, looking for OJT, lagay mo yes if you're looking for OJT right now. And later on, pag hindi na, turn it off. Edi lagay mo na no. Diba? So depende yan kung anong mas trip nyo or anong mas pasok dun sa hinahanap nyo right now. What the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Yan yung kagandahan ng tool natin. Hindi mo kailangan mag door-to-door para mag-submit ng resume link ninyo. Okay? What else do you put here? You put here your school under education. Even later on, okay, pagka-graduate nyo, you can also put here your schools. Yung mga nag-take pa kayo ng further studies, pwede mo rin ilagay dito. Okay, so walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating ko sa seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gaano karami, pwede nyo ilagay dito. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo. Just make sure lang alam mo yung seminar na yon. Kaya baka matanong ka sa interview. Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. Put all the certification programs that you've had, you put it here. Okay? When it comes to the achievement, do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay Dean's Lister. Hindi kayo lahat dito ay honor student. Diba? Ayan, nag-agree marami sa inyo. So, hindi lang po ang achievement nakabase sa academic excellence. Some of you are student leaders. So, if you're active sa school, you also put it here kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan nyo. And hindi lang sa loob ng school, even outside the school. If you're active in your barangay, halimbawa, isa kang tanod, ilagay mo dyan. Diba? Yan yung mga achievement ninyo. So, you put it here. Bakit? Because what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, ito yung common observation namin mga HR. Pagdating sa skills, nilalagay mo lang na skills yung mga umiikot lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat communication arts ang course mo, com arts lang ang skills na alam mo. Hindi porkat engineering ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-engineering. Hindi porkat tourism or HRM ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-tourism at pang-HRM. Maybe some of you are into multimedia, into photography, into videography, into something else, arts, crafts, whatever. Lahat ng yan, skills nyo yan. Remember, what you're doing here is you're marketing yourself more effectively. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, ilagay mo dito lahat ng skills na alam ninyo. Pagdating po sa languages, ganun din. Huwag mong ilimit yan sa dalawang lengguwahe lang. Because I'm sure alam nyo na yung dalawa. Kung dalawa lang talaga alam nyo, din dalawa lang. Ano tong dalawang to? English and Tagalog or Filipino. Okay? Now, if you know other local dialect, Bisaya, Kapampangan, Sabacano, Ilonggo, you can also put it here. If you know foreign languages, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, diba, Korean, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? Walang limit sa space yan. When it comes to the references, sigurado ko yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang malaking tanong dito kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. So please tell them, ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now, at this point, to make your life easier, kung sakali lang nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo in your Word file or maybe in your doc file, depende kung anong file nyo, PDF file, whatever file you have. Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo, simple na lang. Just copy all the information inside dito. Na ilagay mo sa loob ng resume link. Just transfer them here inside the resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung bakit secured, I'll tell you as we go along. Okay? So, yung mga sinabi ko, I think alam nyo na yan. Alam nyo na yan. Okay? Itong mga susunod kong papakita, ito yung mga amazing na portion. Let me start with the portfolio section. Ano yung portfolio section? This is the part where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Diploma. Diba? Transcript. Ano pa? Toga? Hindi ebidensya yung toga. Okay? Kung ano man meron nyo. Diba? Certificate, diploma, yan. Ebidensya yan. Okay? Kung transcript of records is evidence na graduate na kayo. Ano ebidensya na wala kayong criminal record? NBA clearance, police clearance, diba? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? Passport, visa, lahat ng mga sinasabi mong mga skills mo or yung mga what you're claiming that you know, you can now support them here sa portfolio section by showing those documents. Diba? Anong ebidensya na ikaw ay healthy? Meron kang medical clearance. Anong ebidensya na pwede kang mag-drive ng sasakyan? Meron kang driver's license. Diba? So gets nyo na yung sinasabi ko. Ang point ko lang is you can now put the things here to support yung claim nyo of your skills. Now, you're starting to think, Sir, kung pare-pareho naman kaming graduate sa school namin, pare-pareho kami magkakaklase, same yung course namin, same yung school, same yung teachers, same yung curriculum, pare-pareho lang naman kami lahat, walang experience sa trabaho, how will we stand out? Ayan, di ba? Okay. Ito ngayon yung isang magandang recommendation ko sa inyo on how you now stand out. You get your smartphones. Kunin mo yung mga smartphones nyo. Kung wala, manghiram sa kaibigan. Okay, hiram mo sa kaibigan mo. I-record mo yung selfie video mo. You say something interesting about yourself. Record it in about 30 seconds to 1 minute lang. Huwag na masyadong mahaba. Ano gagawin mo? Pretend that you are being interviewed by the HR. So you answer basic questions like, tell me something about yourself. O, di ba? Ano yung mga gasgas sa tanong natin? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? Just imagine na tinanong ka ng HR at sasagutin mo na lang siya. Ang maganda lang ngayon, recorded mo. So kung di mo type yung sagot, edi delete mo. Pag type mo, you save it. Then you upload it sa YouTube or sa Vimeo. Maraming mga video channel na libre, yung mga video converter sa online. Hanapin mo lang. And when you're done, you put that video link doon sa portfolio section nyo. O, di ba? This time, it will definitely make you stand out because depende na to sa diskarte mo on how you're going to present yourself. Okay? So I leave it up to you on how you do that. Now, another thing for you to do, na sure akong hindi to makokopya ng classmate mo, ay yung picture mo. Diba? So you put your profile picture here. Now, when it comes to the picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Hindi kailangan pumunta sa studio. Huwag na kayo gumastos. Ang importante dito, tumingin kayo sa camera. Plain background. Okay? Plain background, tumingin kayo sa camera. Wear something, of course. Wear something decent. Okay? Do not upload profile pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung mga sample na yan, hindi po maganda example yan. Okay? So, huwag kayong maglagay ng ganun kasi mga sample ng profile picture. Now, another good thing pa that will make you stand out using the resume link is your cover photo. Yes. A picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang kasabihan na very, very applicable dito. A lot of you who are listening today, hindi kayo gifted with writing skills. Hirap kayo express ang inyong feelings at inyong thoughts into words. Hindi mo ma-type, hindi mo ma-sulat. Tama? Hirap tayo eh. Bakit? Hindi natural sa atin yan. Pero pagdating sa picture, kaya mo i-express yung inyong personality. Look at the examples I'm showing you. Look at the one on the left. Ano siya? Isa siyang ophthalmologist or optometrist. Sabi naman ng iba, eye expert. Di ba? Yung sa kanan, ano siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, parang IT. Sir, techie siguro kasi maraming gadget, pati stapler, gadget niya. Diba? Halimbawa, o sabi ng iba naman, sir, parang makalat. O depende na kung how you are going to interpret it. But now, the way I see it, itong taong to, multitasker. Okay? Another good example I'm showing you is this one. Someone from psychology, someone from neurologies, or maybe someone who knows left and right. Ganun lang kasimple. No? So, depende yan how you're going to express yourself. Okay? Another good example pa, ito. Itong person na to, ang gusto niya sabihin, there's no shortcut to success. You will be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? So, I'm showing you good examples. Hindi yan member na Akit Bahay Gang. Hindi rin po yan social climber, in case that's what you're thinking. So, kung nagpakita ko ng magaganda example, I will also show you yung mga hindi magandang example para wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Make sure you put your picture there. Okay? Kasi maraming pangalan ngayon, interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. Ako rin mismo, napagkakamala ko yung mga aplikante, pinakita ko, Chris, George, Alex, Sam. O, diba? Minsan isipin ko, Joey, lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Diba? So you better put your picture there para at least alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, when you make your resume link, dapat may laman talaga yan. Kasi kung walang laman yan, ganyan itsura niyan, blanco. And how do you expect companies will look, or HR from companies will look at your profile if you submit to them resume links that look like this? It's like submitting a piece of a paper, bond paper, or long bond paper, short bond paper na walang laman except pangalan mo. And that's the same as this one. So hindi yan papansinin ng mga HR for sure. Okay? Sayang lang oras nyo tsaka oras ng HR. Kailangan attractive. Okay? When I say attractive or catchy, do not overdo it naman. Now, this is just in my opinion. In my opinion, I think this one is not a good example. Kasi ang dating niya parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, parang chill-chill lang, no? Parang gano'n na dating. So, I leave it up to you on how you'll be, expressing yourself na dito. Okay? So, sa mga personality nyo. Alam niyo na anong dapat yung gawin at hindi yung dapat gawin. So, showing a very good example is si iExpert. Tignan mo, lahat ng detalye niya, kompleto. Everything. From top to bottom, kompleto lahat ng details, including yung kanyang mga portfolio section na nagpapatunay na siya ay isang licensed ophthalmologist. Pinakita niya lahat ng mga posibleng hingiin pa sa kanya ng mga HR. So bakit ko sinabi sa inyo napapabilis yung buhay dito? Hindi lang buhay nyo. pati buhay rin ng HR napapabilis because once you submit all this information to that company, when the HR opens your resume link and sees everything about you, dalawa lang ang pwedeng mangyari niyan. One is, nahuli mo attention, gusto ka niya ngayon kausapin or schedule for the next step like interview or possibly job offer, or hindi ka nag-fit. Yun yung second. Di ba? Para at least, ang maganda rito, hindi na pabalik-balik, hindi na siya tatawag para sabihin, hello ma'am, meron ka bang evidence na graduate ka na talaga sa school na yan? Can you send me your transcript? Diba? Can you send me yung mga evidence or yung mga sample skills or sample work mo kasi you are in IT or in graphic design? Diba? That's yung ibig ko sabihin. Huwag nang pabalik-balik, sayang yung oras. Okay? Time is of the essence, lalo na ngayon. So you put everything there, at least pag nakita ng HR, diretso na kagad sa pag-process sa inyo. Okay? A lot of you are now thinking, Sir, pag gumawa ako ng resume link at nilagay ko lahat ng information ko dyan, baka naman yung mga data ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman yung mga information ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secured resume. Okay? Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. Follow the screen. Inside your dashboard, when you log in, you can go to your settings. Sa settings mo, to be specific, puntahan mo yung privacy settings. In your privacy settings, you choose the information that you want to show in public. Halimbawa lang you do not want to show your birthday. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita yung address mo. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita ang inyong references. What do you do? Turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At sino may control niyan? Kayo lang. O, di ba? Ang maganda pa rito, real-time update yan. Halimbawa, today, you decide not to show your birthday, your address, and references. And then 5 minutes later, you decide, sige, pakita ko na nga birthday ko. Turn it on. Real-time. 5 minutes later, the moment you save your settings, lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na rin sila real-time. As in real-time. Di ba? Ayos, di ba? Sige, tuloy natin. Tuloy pa natin to. So, reminders ko na lang sa mga late na dumating or kakakinig lang, when you make your resume link, make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive. Okay? Wag OA. Iba yung over naman yun. No? Wag naman ganun. So, make sure it's attractive, it's catchy. Complete all the information, especially your contact details. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng ginawa mo, nahuli mo attention, hindi ka makontak ng HR. So better make sure nandyan yung mga contact details na updated. Okay? So yan. So tapos na tayo sa 2 steps. Last step na lang. Ano yung first step? Recap lang. First step is register. Wala tong bayad. Libre po yan. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical. And the last step now is for you to submit. So you're now thinking, okay ito paano ko gagamitin ngayon yung resume link? Bigyan kita ng iba-ibang paraan. Okay, lahat ito practical application para makarelate kayo. Unang option, pumunta ka sa website ng jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com, and that's where you now start to look for companies. Type the companies that you're looking for. Pag may lumabas, edi good. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Okay, huwag din pilitin. Okay? Now, you can also see there a lot of companies, a lot of company logos that you can shop around, you can choose, learn about the company, and if you want to be part of the company, I recommend you submit your resume link kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Let me repeat what I just said. If you want to be part of an organization, if you want to be part of that company, even if you are not yet qualified, I recommend you give your resume link to that company. Bakit? Imagine, kung ngayong hapon, ngayong araw, nag-submit ka ng resume link sa isang kumpanya na naghahanap ng 3 years experience na aplikante. Wala ka pang 3 years experience. Okay lang. Because nabigay mo na yung resume link mo sa kanya, pagdating ng 2024, siguro naman by that time, meron ka ng 3 years experience, di ba? Kasi nag-work ka na ngayon by 2021. By 2024, may 3 years experience ka na, pwede ka na ma-qualify dun sa position in-applyan mo. And you never know. That company might just contact you later on, provided that your details are still updated. So you have to update those information real time. Ayos ba? Ayos, di ba? Wala nang pabalik-balik. Hindi mo na kailangan magbalik-balik dun sa kumpanya para sabihin, nag-apply po ko sa inyo last year. Ako po yung OJT nyo 3 months ago. Wala lang ganun. Okay? Another practical application. when you submit your resumes through email, how do you do that? Madalas, ito ginagawa natin. Mag-email tayo, sasabihin natin, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position and this is my resume. Ano gagawin nyo? I-attach mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo. Tama? If that is how you're doing it, wag mo nang gawin yon. Wag ka na mag-attach ng anything sa email. Pampabagal lang yan, tsaka makaluma na yung style na yan. Bakit ko sinabi yon? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan talaga mag-attach ng anything. Ang gagawin mo, i-type mo na lang doon sa email mo yung resume link mo. Example, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, 01.jobs180.com. That's it. Submit. I look forward to your information soon. Thank you. Send. Every time meron kang babaguhin sa details mo, hindi mo na kailangan padalhan yung HR. Kasi kung ginagamit mo mga attachment, ang kulit niyan eh. Ang kulit, saka nakapagod. Ano gagawin mo pag nagbago ka ng phone number? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated resume. Mamaya-maya, 2 weeks later, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated, most recent resume. O di ba? Every time meron kang babaguhin, padala ka na padala doon sa HR. Nakakapagod yan, hindi lang sa part nyo, kundi sa part din namin sa mga HR to keep track which one yung pinaka-updated na details. So this time, wala na kailangan. Palit-palit na lang kayo ng details nyo, update-update na lang sa loob ng resume link. Ayos ba? Ayos pa. Okay, tuloy pa natin to. Okay? If you want to print your resume, this is now the good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng papel at mag-submit sa mga kumpanya, walang kaso. Pumunta ka lang sa dashboard mo, hanapin mo yung print na option at mamili ka kung 1 column or 2 column version ang gusto mo i-print. What the system will do is it will try to compress everything into one page para tipid na. O, di ba? Now, usapang tipid. Ito mas tipid pa. Gusto mo mag-print ng resume pero gusto mo magtipid. Itong gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Ano tong resume link card? Sa isang pirasong long bond or short bond paper, mag-design ka ng maraming resume link card. No, maliliit lang, parang business card ang dating. In one piece of paper, I think you can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa size ng papel mo. At ang importante lang ilagay mo dyan sa resume link card mo ay syempre ang inyong resume link. Diba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay lahat ng details mo sa resume sa loob ng maliit na papel. Lagay mo lang resume link mo. And that is what you now give to the companies when you start applying. Look at the picture I'm showing you. Diba? Tipid. Hindi lang tipid. Secured pa. Tingnan nyo. If you submit yung big paper resume nyo, long bond paper, sinubmit mo sa isang kumpanya, nag-apply ka. For some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye mo because everything is in that one-page printout. Now, if you lose that small piece of paper, don't worry. Meron kang peace of mind. Bakit? Yung mga kapulot niyan, limited sa privacy settings mo because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings kahit na i-type niya yan sa browser. Okay? So, ang recommend ko rin sa mga nakikinig, use the gadget. Take advantage of the technology. Use your gadget, your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, kung ano man. Okay? Para ngayon kasi, this day and age, technology na ang gamitin natin. Kung mano-mano pa rin kayo, wala kayong gadget, okay lang. Huwag kayong malungkot. You can still submit to the companies by just simply writing the resume link on a piece of paper. As simple as that. Okay? So, again, sa mga nagtatanong, ano yung mga guidelines ko para makagawa ako ng job-winning resume? Ito yung guideline ko. Ito yung checklist ko. Are you using the right tool? That's the ultimate question. There are so many tools right now, but these are the things that you should consider when you make your resume. And that is the resume link. It already addresses the following. Number 1, security ng information mo. I hope by this time, you have peace of mind. Ito na ang pinaka-secured na information because you have the ultimate control over your privacy setting. Pangalawa, the speed of hire becomes faster. It becomes more efficient because whatever you need, whatever the HR needs, you can already put it inside the resume link. Another thing is that it's flexible. If you want to print, just in case lang gusto mo talaga mag-print ng resume nyo, you have the option to print it. And you don't have to worry about saan ko sinave yung file na yan, saan ko tinago, wala nang ganon. Just log into your account and print. Mamili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. At higit sa lahat, wala po itong bayad. Tipid po ito. Walang bayad. Okay? Ang kailangan mo lang, of course, internet. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, sir, kailangan ko ng pan-data, pwede ka naman makakonect sa internet na walang data eh. Punta ka sa libreng wifi. Di ba? Baka yung kapitbahay nyo may libreng wifi, o makagamit ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho ka na, may sweldo na, bayaran mo yung wifi niya. O di ba? Bawi-bawi lang yan. No? Give and take. And there are a lot more benefits to just what I've mentioned. Marami pang iba. You can share your resume link to whatever platform you want to share it to. Gusto mo i-text? Gusto mo siya i-private message? Gusto mo i-send via Viber? Kayo bahala. Pwede mo i-share. Basta kayo may control. Ganun lang kasimple. No? Kung hindi mo ito binigay sa kahit kanino, hindi malalaman to nung taong yon. And you don't have to save it to whatever USBs or hard drive. No need na. Wala rin tong mga tipong version na kailangan pa mag-compatible. Walang ganun. Lahat ito compatible. Pwede lahat. Okay? So, shout out na lang ako. Shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, right now we have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So, thank you. We're very thankful for this opportunity that we're able to do this kahit tayo nasa loob ng bahay, kahit kayo ay nasa loob ng bahay. So, hindi tayo physically nagpe-present, pero nakakatulong pa rin tayo, especially if you have friends or relatives whom you think would need this tool. Please share this to them. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong naman ng mga frequently asked questions, sasagutin ko na. Ito kasi yung mga common questions na kadalasan tinatanong sa akin. Ang tanong, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. It depends kung sino ang bibigyan mo. Ikaw may ultimate control niyan. Okay? Pangalawang question, is this the same as other job platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, iba pang mga job site? The answer is no. Meron tong dalawang major difference. Yes. Lalo na pagdating sa security. Okay. Of course, explain lang ako Okay. With respect to the other sites that I've mentioned, let me just use JobStreet as an example para lang mas makarelate, no? Para makarelate. You can only use JobStreet resume if you're applying to companies who are also using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your resume link, you can use this to any type of company, any platform, wherever they are. Kahit sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas ng Pilipinas, pwede mong applyan. Kahit hindi niya alam ang Jobs 180, basta alam niya ang resume link mo, pwede niya mabuksan ang profile at makita according to your settings. That's the first difference. Pangalawang difference, kung nabigay mo na, kung na-submit mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Lahat ng data mo nandun na yan sa HR. Yes. Hindi na magbabago yan real time. With your resume link, na-submit mo today, mali pala number mo, na-submit mo today, mali pala yung spelling mo. You can always edit it. Enter, save it. Real-time update. Lahat ng binigyan mo ng resume link, updated real-time. Ayos? Okay, tuloy tayo sa number 3 question. Number 3 question is the easiest question. Ang tanong dito is, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform. Okay? That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Okay? Number 4, I think this is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Ang sagot dito, hindi araw-araw, hindi linggo, hindi buwan-buwan, hindi taon-taon. Ang sagot dito ay every time. Every time na meron kayong babaguhin, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Yan ang importante. You have to update your contact details every time na meron kayong papalitan doon. Kasi yan yung paraan para makontak kayo ng mga companies. And the last question is just a trivia. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around. Yan, 'di ba? 180 degrees. Hindi siya 360. Kasi kung 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Edi balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang. Di wala nangyari, 'di ba? So you have to do it 180 degrees. It's a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya magtanong, pumunta lang kayo sa website namin, sa jobs180.com or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram para makakuha kayo ng mga latest trends in recruitment. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget yung wa. Okay? Baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. Na nagsasabing, be safe at isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Kim. I think from our comment section in the live stream, a lot of students are comforted by the fact that they can access all of these practical tips and strategies on how to make their lives easier, not just as interns, but as future professionals. So, on behalf of the University of Makati's Center for Linkages, Career Development, and Placement, we would like to present to you our certificate of appreciation for sharing your knowledge, your expertise, and resources to our UMak interns and future professionals. So, thank you so much, Sir Kim.
Thank you, ma'am. Salamat. Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to our next event. Thank you po.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so now that you have listened to the practical tips and also the strategies that Sir Kim shared with you, now let's go into what Sir Ivan mentioned earlier about specific skills that you need to hone and you need to prepare yourselves so that you will be more ready and competitive in the workplace. Our final resource speaker for today's orientation is a leadership and professional development trainer at Cardinal Health International Philippines, where she is responsible for all forms of learning and professional training delivery to all employees. She also facilitates courses on communication skills, presentation skills, and coaching, among others. Before moving to her learning and development role, she had over 10 years of experience in employee communications and engagement, where she was able to develop strong partnerships with businesses and leadership teams on employee engagement matters that created a big impact on the organization in general. Sharing with us her presentation on improving communication skills for workplace success, let's all welcome Ms. Carol Amistad of Cardinal Health International Philippines. Good afternoon, Ms. Carol.
Hey, Aika, thank you. So, hello and good afternoon to everyone who's watching and tuned in to University of Makati's Career Talk. I am very honored and excited to be with you virtually today to, share my insights and knowledge on what we all know is basic, but one of the very vital soft skills that we all should have, which is communication skills. So I guess you would all agree here that communication plays a crucial role in our daily lives. Whether as a student, as a professional, a parent, a spouse, or a son, a daughter, or as a friend. And with all those people-oriented technologies and social networks rising, our modern world is all about communication. That's why our ability to communicate effectively matters if we want to be successful. Our communication skills help us better understand people and situations. It helps us overcome diversities. It builds trust and respect, and it also creates conditions for sharing creative ideas and solving problems. So before anything else, let's first define communication. I know that you've already learned about this back in grade school or high school, but let's just do a quick review. So, according to Oxford English Dictionary, communication is the imparting or exchanging of information either by speaking, writing, or using some other medium like face to face. And right now in this virtual setup, chat or video conferences. It is also the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. So, as this definition makes clear, communication is more than simply the transmission or relaying of information. It requires an element of success to transmit or impart a message. So, whether it's an information, an idea, or even your emotions. And lastly, communication has three parts. So it has the sender, the message, and the recipient. And how it goes is that, of course, the sender encodes the message, usually in a mixture of words and nonverbal communication, and then transmits the message in some way like speech or writing. And then the recipient or your audience decodes the message. So in this process, I'd like you to take note that at any stage, misunderstanding can happen, and that's what we want to overcome or minimize at the very least. Because as communicators, we want to be effective and competent. So, what does it take to be an effective communicator? Or when can you say if a communication is effective? So first, it's a communication is effective when it's clear. So when your audience or the recipient of your message gets the meaning that you intended. Hindi yung, ano nga ulit? Pakiulit. Or, ano nga yung sinabi mo? So with that, if you're getting that question, that means that you were not able to clarify your message. So you have to be clear. And then the next one is complete. So when your audience has all the information necessary so that they can act on your message or your communication. And then the third one is when it's concise. So meaning the unnecessary, the flowery language has already been deleted. So no beating around the bush. You know, if you have a point or if you want to communicate a point, just keep it brief. All right. Do not repeat the point several times in different ways because it might cause confusion pa, among your audience or the recipient of your message or your communication. So just be concise, be straightforward. So when your message is clear, when it's complete, when it's concise, of course, it saves your audience time. And your communication style, your thought organization will also make it easy for them to understand and act accordingly to your communication or to your message. And then lastly is, of course, it builds goodwill. So we want to communicate positively because we want positive reception and results. Ayaw naman natin na after ng communication, our audience or our participants parang negative or heavy yung feeling nila. Okay, so what we want to happen is after that conversation or after you've sent out or after you relayed an information, they were able to understand it, they have a positive feeling about it. Okay, so now that we have reviewed the meaning of communication and I identified the characteristics of an effective communication, let's talk about communication skills. Why are excellent or strong communication skills so important? So first, it's one, if not the highest demand soft skill. So if you think about it, every process in our life is related to communication at some point, and it's not necessarily verbal communication. For example, it's the ability to listen and ask the right questions. It's also those non-verbal signals, that attract a person to a stranger at a party, or the eye contact that helps you realize how your friend feels at the moment, even if they are silent or if they're not speaking at all. And the importance of communication skills becomes even more obvious if you add up words into all of that. And in the marketplace, strong verbal and written communication skills are always in demand. You definitely want to be that colleague or teammate who is easy to work with. You want to be that valuable team player and someone who's less likely to drop the ball on big projects. The next one is career prospects. So when you have great communication skills, so that includes verbal, written, nonverbal, and even visual. Not only does it increase your chances of getting the job you want on your terms, but it also brings you new networking and career opportunities, and it eases your daily teamwork. And then third is, of course, it's essential in the workplace. Ultimately, communication is the starting point for relationships with your teammates or with your colleagues, and also in establishing work goals and expectations. Just imagine missing a deadline or an important task from a shared project just because of a simple misunderstanding or miscommunication. And believe me, that happens a lot. Okay, so just imagine that because there was improper use of words or there was miscommunication, you missed a project or you missed a task from that shared project. Okay, so far we've talked about effective communication and why strong communication skills are important. Again, communication, no matter if it's something related to your personal life, education, or a business conversation with your supervisor, with your teammate, or your manager is not only about successfully exchanging information or how fluent of a speaker you are, because the critical part of it is actually about what's behind the information. You know, there's always an emotion, the tone of voice, the intention, and even the eye contact, hand gestures, and even the mood of the person that you're talking to. But don't let the complexity of this process freak you out. I know that it might sound complicated, so let me share some ways on how you can be better and more effective communicators using the acronym CLEAR, or CLEAR. So the first step is to create clarity. So you can't effectively share your ideas or viewpoint when your words are complicated, or when your message is unclear, or when your tone is off-putting. So keep your words simple, stay focused on the key point of what you need to get across, and deliver it with a tone that will invite support and interest from your audience. Also, people shouldn't have to read between the lines, and allow them to make assumptions on their own just to understand what you're trying to say. As a communicator, you have to be clear with the information and action required so that your audience has the information that they need in order for them to take action. Most people think that being an effective communicator means being a great speaker, having a good command of the language, yung magaling sa grammar, right? Very fluent. That's part of it, but that's only half of the equation. The L in clear stands for listen. Well, yes, effective communicators are great listeners too. And I think that Sir Ivan mentioned this earlier, that listening is one of the neglected communication skills. So, and I'm not talking about just passive listening, when you're just sitting there and you're hearing, the words would come in your ear and then would go out the other ear, right? So proper listening is active, but usually does not come naturally. So we all know what it's like to be, in a discussion or conversation with friends, or probably a meeting with your teammates, and it's just so dragging and it feels like a waste of time, right? You'd rather get your mobile phone, browse through those online shopping deals, right? Check your social media feeds for the latest chismes, diba? So what can you do to be an active listener? So first is give positive reinforcement, like nodding or giving a verbal indication that you are following along. But don't overdo it. Kasi it might appear or it might sound so fake. 'Di ba? Like ano ka lang ng tango, or yes ka lang ng yes, even if you're really not understanding what the speaker is trying to say. Kasi sabi, give positive reinforcement, mag-nod or mag ano lang, magbigay lang ng verbal indication na naiintindihan ko. So make sure that you are really listening, and that you're understanding, and then you give that positive reinforcement. And then the second is ask relevant questions, because when you do, you're ensuring that you clearly understand your conversation partner's point of view. So this shows that you're interested, that you've been listening to their words, and that you want to know more. Hindi makichismis, but you want to get to the bottom of it, and you want to really understand what they're trying to say. And then the third one is restating key points. So paraphrase what you've heard in your own words, summarize your understanding, because when you repeat information back to the speaker, you show that you have absorbed and understood their message. And then another way that you can show your listening skills is use of non-verbal cues, like body language, facial expression, and tone of voice. So when someone is talking to you, you should be face to face with them. Like, you also have to make comfortable eye contact and react to their words. And this also applies to online or virtual setups. Hindi lang pag in person. So don't look at your phone, don't look at your watch, or the clock, or yung mata nyo wag kung saan-saan tumitingin, because that indicates that you have no authentic interest in what the person is trying to say, or in the person itself, right? So that can be, detrimental to both personal and professional relationships. As an active listener, you should also pay attention to the speaker's nonverbal cues, as this can give you an even clearer picture of how the speaker is feeling. And then lastly, for the listening skill is reserve judgment. An effective listener will let the other person speak without interjecting opinions, unsolicited information, or fixes. So listen with an open mind to facilitate trust. If you've heard of preconceived notions or unconscious bias, so that's a big no-no when you're listening. What are preconceived notion or unconscious bias? The typical stereotyping, or for example, meron na kayo agad iniisip about that person. So for example, if you're talking to someone, meron ka na agad nasa isip na ito na naman siya, wala na naman siyang ibang kwento kundi ito, pare-pareho lang. So you have that stereotype na, you have that preconceived judgment na of that person. If you're an active listener and if you want to be an effective communicator, alisin nyo yung pagiging or yung pagkakaroon ng preconceived judgment. Okay, and then next is E. So we're going back to the acronym CLEAR, right? So E is for empathy. So for example, when a friend or when a colleague feels frustrated or hurt, it's sometimes it's far too tempting to try to one up them. So what do we mean by one up? When you respond with sus, ako nga mas malala pa yung nangyari sa akin, or ano ba yan, para yan lang, ako nga ganito ganyan, 'di ba? So you try to compare, 'di ba, what you're going through with the other person. So instead of responding that way, why not demonstrate empathy instead by saying things like, friend, ramdam ko yung sakit, or na-imagine ko kung gaano kahirap yung pinagdadaanan mo. So as simple as that, showing empathy helps to establish trust and rapport, both of which are very important to effective communication. And empathizing doesn't necessarily mean that you agree with that person. It just shows that you can relate to them, and it will help you break down barriers and open doors to new solutions. And then closely tied to empathy is the next skill, which is appreciation. So effective communicators freely and genuinely offer appreciation. In the workplace, and on the spot, wow, this is great work, diba? Will leave your team member feeling valued. Unexpected, I appreciate you being there for me, will let your friend or your loved one know that you don't take them for granted. I suggest you try it out for a day. Look for small opportunities to express gratitude, and I'm sure you'll feel happier and more effective at the end of the day. So the last tip for improving your communication skills is respect. To be a clear and effective communicator, you must first recognize that your message is not just about you or about what you want. It's about the what's in it for your audience. How will it benefit them, right? So if you truly want to be heard, first you must believe in your message and sincerely care about the needs and the unique perspectives of your audience. After all, they took the time and the effort to hear what you have to say. So it's equally important to recognize and respect that all of us have different perspectives based on our positions, what motivates us, and our needs. So those are the 5 ways for you to be a more effective communicator. So again, be clear, listen, have empathy, appreciate, and respect. I guess another tip that I can share, which is not included here in my slide, is for you to never stop learning and improving yourself. Learning never goes out of style. So no matter at what age, role, or level that we are in, we should always find ways to learn, seek feedback, and heed guidance and advice from our trusted mentors, our coaches, our teachers, our professors, leaders, peers, and even our critics, because it helps us grow and become better individuals. And this is one of the many things I love working. What I love about working at Cardinal Health, because the company invests heavily on its talents and provides many opportunities for growth and learning. So today I am pleased to share more information about Cardinal Health. But before we share this exciting news, there's a chat box below. So just feel free to ask questions. So Cardinal Health International Philippines is the shared services arm of Cardinal Health, which is a global integrated healthcare services and products company, and it's headquartered in Dublin, Ohio. Cardinal Health is number 15 on the Fortune 500. We provide outstanding opportunities for personal and professional growth. We received recognition as an ideal organization to work with, which is a testament to our commitment to being an inclusive and mission driven workplace. So, recognitions or citations include World's Most Admired Companies, 150 top places to work in healthcare, and top 60 company for executive women. So, what does exactly Cardinal Health do? We provide customized solutions for hospitals, health systems, pharmacies, ambulatory surgery centers, clinical laboratories, and physician offices worldwide. So, simply put, we deliver products and solutions to improve the lives of people every day. Because our global footprint is growing steadily, we opened our office in BGC Taguig, which is very, very near UMak, in August of 2016 to accommodate our growing number of employees who coordinate with customers and patients across the globe. Cardinal Health brings a unique combination of distinctive insight, innovative technology, and heritage of healthcare experience. So this is how big our presence is in the healthcare industry. We serve nearly 90% of US hospitals, more than 6,200 labs with nearly 51,000 lab products. We serve more than 29,000 US pharmacies. We have more than 4,500 sourcing and manufacturing partners across the healthcare supply chain. We serve more than 3.4 million patients with more than 46,000 home healthcare products. And we serve more than 10,000 specialty physician offices and clinics. We also operate in more than 40 countries, and we manufacture or distribute more than 50,000 Cardinal Health product and procedure kits. Sobrang daming ano, 'di ba, facts and figures, but I hope that gives you, an understanding of, how big Cardinal Health is. So, who are the customers of Cardinal Health? So, we have acute care, retail, physician, supplier, payers, and of course, our consumers. So Cardinal Health also aims to become healthcare's most trusted partner. And to do that, we have a clear roadmap on where we are going, how we will succeed, and what we value. So at Cardinal Health, we are guided by 5 core values to help us become and more importantly, remain a conducive and inclusive workplace for all of our team members. We consider every employee as a family member and consistently strive to foster an environment where everyone can bring 100% of their authentic selves to work. So here are our 5 core values. So we have integrity, inclusive, innovative, accountable, and mission driven. And I hope that these values resonate with you and speak of the character and principles of our organization. First, let's talk about integrity. So, we believe in integrity or doing the right thing, even when nobody is watching. We value the trust of our customers as well as our employees, partners, and stakeholders. And then next one is inclusive. So we strive to be inclusive by welcoming team members regardless of their backgrounds, generations, and gender identifications. We accept and embrace each other's differences and work together towards the common goal of providing excellent service. We are also innovative and leverage on ideation and technology to respond to changes and situations with agility and creativity. We adapt and lead through change and actively seek opportunities for growth and development. And then accountable is who we are at our core. We can be trusted to get things done, despite obstacles. And we do this through perseverance. So we do not let our customers nor our teammates down. And last but not the least, Cardinal Health is mission driven. We keep our eyes on the prize. We take time to listen to what our customers and stakeholders need and go above and beyond what is required of us. And then these are our behaviors or our core competencies. So we invite curiosity, build partnerships, inspire commitment, and develop self and others. So Cardinal Health works hard to keep its employees' best interests at heart so that you can have a productive and memorable stay with us. We want you to thrive while doing what matters and being comfortable as you are. We came to make your workplace fun and meaningful so that you can enjoy what you do and who you work with. Moreover, we want to be the organization that helps you develop and realize the best version of yourselves. That's why we empower leaders to support their teams in all ways, always, so you can reach both your personal and professional goals. So let me share with you this video. It's about why Cardinal Health are your wings. So we're more than a business, we're more than a partner, and we're more than hard workers. And personally, this is my favorite video of Cardinal Health. You can actually look this up in YouTube. So just look for Cardinal Health We Are Wings video.
They come from all over. The cures and the tools, the medicines and the machines. This is their flight, and we are their wings. They give of themselves, their minds, their hearts, their hands, their time and talent. These are the angels, and we are their wings. They stave off the outbreak with counsel and cure, bridge gaps between hospital, home, and health. This is their promise, and we are its wings. They sacrifice years in exchange for more days. Swap long nights of study for split-second grace. These are the pilots, and we are their wings. Cardinal Health is essential to all who work in healthcare. We are their wings.
All right, that's a very brief but sweet video about Cardinal Health. So I hope that piques your interest. And speaking of interest, I know that a lot of you are interested to know more about Cardinal Health and if we have openings. So I'll be turning this over now to my good friend here, Yas from Talent Acquisition, to talk about our hiring requirements.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm so sorry. Just to check if you can hear me.
You're all good now,
Yes.
yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Carol. So allow me to share back my screen again. All right. So hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Yas, and I'm one of the senior recruiters in Cardinal Health International Philippines. So Cardinal Health is constantly look on the lookout for talented individuals that can allow the organization, to achieve its goal of providing effective healthcare services. Cardinal Health believes that the employee journey begins with the recruitment process. We are fully committed to optimizing our core, our people, and investing in their personal and professional journey with us. So our talent acquisition team is composed of competent and engaging recruitment professionals, which strive to make the entire recruitment and onboarding process as smooth and pleasant as possible for all applicants. So as you can see on your screen, so these are the list of our openings for Cardinal Health International Philippines. So we have openings for customer service representatives, support and leadership. Under that would be the IT roles and the leadership roles. So we encourage everyone to be a part of the Cardinal Health International Team family. You may visit us through Jobs 180 slash Cardinal Health, or you may visit our careers page, Cardinal Health Philippines.jobs, or you may send us an email through join us at cardinalhealth.com. So that would be it for me. Thank you very much. I guess we can now entertain questions if there are any.
Thank you so much, Miss Carol and Miss Yas. So far there are no questions. I'd like to thank you both for sharing with us. First, Miss Carol, for sharing to our student interns how they can be effective communicators in the workplace, especially since this is from your own experience in the industry. And also thank you, Miss Yas, for sharing naman to our students the possible opportunities for them under Cardinal Health. Thank you so much. And on behalf of the University of Makati's Center for Linkages, Career Development and Placement, we would like to present to you our certificate of appreciation for sharing your knowledge and expertise to our UMak student interns today. Thank you so much, Miss Carol and Miss Yas.
Thank you, Aika.
Okay, so to officially end our orientation today, and please do not sign off or stop watching the live stream because we have some final reminders later. But to officially end the orientation, let's all give a warm welcome. So show your love, react to our live stream. Let's all welcome our UMak Vice President for Student Services and Community Development, Professor Virgilio Bitab. Sir, good afternoon.
Yes, good
Welcome, sir.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah. Gandang hapon, no? I'd like to express on behalf of the management no, our gratitude to all our speakers for sharing their time and expertise no, in this great exercise of you know engaging no, our students in the real world. No, I'd like to pay compliment no to this initiative that the office of Ma'am Cynthia Jose has organized and conducted. I think it is a tribute to the foresight that the Center for Linkages um, Career Development and Placement has initiated, realizing that there is today, almost 2 years since this pandemic has regulated our routine. There is a dramatic need of few student, no, particularly mga interns natin, no, to understand the full implication of what this new landscape of education and this new landscape of apprenticeship, no, or on the job training program. And to realize, kasi baka alam niyo yon, baka abutin pa tayo ng isang taon pa before OJT program finally go back to normal when we finally reach the required herd immunity. Okay? I know that the pandemic has left some of you struggling to address your concerns and anxieties about OJT. And so, Ma'am Cynthia Jose has designed this virtual orientation as one of your learning exercises that can be best done, and can be best learned at home virtually in order to realize a future ready student, for the job market in this new learning environment. So, our dear OJT interns, jobs as we know them today are changing constantly, di ba? And so competencies that we know them today must also change. You do not only have to prepare for jobs that are available today, but that you must also prepare to deliver the next trend of jobs that will be emerging in the near future. Today, the biggest threat of the BPO industry in the Philippines is not actually India or China, because the biggest threat of the BPO industry today in the Philippines is technology. Di ba? Why? Because human beings or call center agents are now being replaced, by artificially intelligent computers. Okay? Pangalawa, because of this pandemic na regulated ang work arrangement ng mga workers natin. Okay? And it affects the productivity level of companies. Companies are now shifting from labor intensive to technology driven productions and manufacturing. And that means we have to evolve a new set of workers that are aligned for these jobs that even now the competencies don't exist yet. Di ba? So in as much as we want to send you out to our industry partners or employers, the pandemic does not warrant us a real apprenticeship sa ngayon. Okay? But despite of this, I think you are the kind of citizens today who are very powerful citizens, in terms of the use of digital technology. And so we need to train you, to be responsible with this power, that you now have. And if you take a look at what we've been trying to do for the past several years, we've been trying to do that, that we break the walls that separates the academe and the real world. Kasi we want to be seamless, we want our learning environment to be seamless, integrating the stakeholders, the communities, okay, the partners, and even at home, your parents, your siblings can be facilitators of learning. Kasi sinasabi natin na yung natututunan natin, yung natutunan mo sa trabaho, dapat mas mahalaga sa natututunan mo sa eskwela. Kasi yun ang tunay na pagkatuto. Kailangan mas mabigat ang timbang academically yung natutunan mo sa trabaho kaysa sa natutunan mo sa eskwela. Di ba? And so therefore, we must find a way of capturing and giving academic value to what you learn at work. And so, may you find opportunity in your OJT program to tell us what we miss doing in our curriculum. It's you actually, the OJT students, aside from, of course, our alumni, our graduates, who are the best people to provide feedback and define the skills and competencies that we need to enhance in our students, because the test of education is employability. And of course, for us also to reach out with our industry partner, to help us define the curriculum. Okay? And so it is all, I think, about your ability to cope up with this new landscape of education. Okay? This pandemic is the most disruptive educational reform in our lifetime. And this disruption will lead to a change in the landscape of education. Here is the chance, no? Here is the chance to redefine our student OJT development programs and services. Okay? So for now, let us not look at a lack of concreteness in the regulation of the implementation of the OJT as a problem. Let us look at it as an opportunity to try new things, no, that have not been done before, because education sector today is ripe with opportunities and examples, no, of how education can be delivered differently and more effectively in this new learning environment. And so, do not stop, no, do not stop daring to ask difficult questions. Okay, let us be brave to change the rules and to change the game, because education needs innovation so that you are better prepared for tomorrow. Okay? So good luck, my dear OJT students. Have a fruitful but safe OJT. Again, good afternoon. Mabuhay po kayong lahat.
Thank you so much, Sir Tabu, for that motivating and empowering words for our student interns. Good afternoon, sir. In behalf of the whole CLCDP and also the CCC, we would like to thank everyone who joined us today, our speakers, Miss Cynthia, Sir Ivan, Sir Kim from jobs180.com, Miss Carol and Miss Yas from Cardinal Health. We would like to thank everyone, our student interns. I know it's a bit overwhelming, all of these things that you have to prepare for, but we are here in University of Makati to help you get through this internship journey. Once again, please remember to answer the evaluation form that will be shared in our FB page and also in the comments section. And this will serve as your attendance for this orientation. You should also watch out for the future events and programs of the Center for Linkages, Career Development and Placement for your internship. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to send us a message here on Facebook or send us an email through the details that were given earlier. Okay, and you may answer the form for starting today until September 24, 2021 until 5 p.m. Okay, guys, so please remember you only have until 5 p.m. to answer this form. If you do not answer the form, unfortunately, you won't be able to get the certificate that is corresponding to this orientation. So that is it, everyone. Have a great day. Keep safe and stay healthy, and see you again to our next orientation for your internship. Good afternoon and goodbye.